Hello, hello. Shoggoth Unknown here. Welcome to Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Felt weird not saying a number there, but today is the 4th of March, 2023. Local time is 10, and I haven't played this before. That's the first thing. I know about this game. I know major story beats, if you will. This game is considered canon for whatever that's worth, whatever that means. It's considered part of the main canon storyline because there's other games like Portable Ops, which I played a little bit of back in the day, but to my understanding, that's not at all considered canon. It's just kind of a side game. So this game is like the only, I believe it's the only non-numbered one that I can think of that's actually canon. And it's the only canon one that I haven't played. So that's definitely interesting. But like I said, I know about it. Because the events are important to the overall story, they are referenced elsewhere. So there are a lot of things that I know about this. I've seen a lot of gameplay. I've kind of pseudo-watched a playthrough in the past, but it's been so long I don't remember much. And when I say pseudo-watched, I like to put things on the side while I'm doing something. I like the background noise. So it was one of those kind of things where it was kind of on the side and I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but it was there. So it's mostly blind, but not 100% blind, and especially knowing, you know, a lot of the major events. But I don't know all the context around those events, so really excited to be checking this out. We're sitting on this menu here because I didn't want to sit on the main menu and have it looping through like splash screens and stuff. I don't know if it does that or not. But I just wanted somewhere that had some kind of audio. So we'll take the staticky noise. Why not? There wasn't a lot of options here for me to go through. So we're just sitting here. But yeah, I don't know if I have much else to say about it because I mean, like I said, it's the first time actually playing it rather than just seeing, you know, videos or whatever. So I know the gist of it, but it'll be fun giving it a try. And I guess the one thing is I don't know how thorough I'm going to be because I do know that the game can vary quite a bit depending on how you play it. Depending on how much of a completionist you want to be. We're talking tens of hours longer. And I do want to try to experience as much as I can. I want to try to get all the lore and everything, all the story and everything, but I also don't want to make it a 100-hour playthrough, which, you know, from my understanding is completely possible on this game. Not that I, you know, am disrespecting the game, but I also have 5 to play after this, so, you know, I'm just trying to be a little pragmatic with it. So yeah. What's going on, Rusku? So yeah, I think that's good. So let's just go ahead and get this started. Let's head over to the title screen. And let's just start up a new game. All right, Metal Gear Solid 4. We have Portable Ops. We have Monster Hunter. That's a weird one. Okay. I'll probably go shooter type because I like Metal Gear Solid 4. Now remember, this was a PSP game originally, so I'm imagining that I'm noticing that some of the buttons on, well, like the D-pad, crouch is also on the A button. So there's 2 different ways to do the same thing. There's 2 different ways to do the auto-aim switch. So there's probably going to be a little bit of duplicated controls like that, just because why not? Like, it was a PSP game. Yeah, I guess this is fine. I like equip on equip. Alright, just go. Press start. Press... Okay. The year was 1964. The world was firmly in the grip of the Cold War, divided into East and West. One of America's heroes had defected to the Soviet Union. She was known as the Boss, the mother of the Special Forces, and the soldier said to have led the Allies to victory in World War II. However, the American-made miniature nuclear warhead she took with her was used to destroy a Soviet research facility. Facing full-scale nuclear war, the leaders of the world superpowers held top-secret talks to avert Armageddon. The Soviet Union wanted assurance that this was not the work of Uncle Sam. They wanted America to eliminate one of its most legendary soldiers, the Boss. The person assigned to this mission was her closest apprentice, the soldier known as Snake. Snake made the anguished journey into the enemy territory, eventually confronting and killing the Boss at a fortress called Groznygrad, proving America's innocence and avoiding nuclear holocaust. Having saved the world, Snake was hailed a true hero and given the title Big Boss. Is Big Boss gonna stay there? No, all of it faded out. Following the awards ceremony, however, Snake disappeared. Militaires Sans Frontières, Soldiers Without Borders. November 4th, 1974.
Want to go around?
All right, Mr. Tutorial Man, let's do it. I actually have played this part before. I do recognize this. For some reason in my mind, I thought this was the Portable Ops intro for some reason.
Look alive, ladies! The boss is gonna join us! Show him how it's done, boss! Your first priority in enemy territory is knowing your surroundings. Your life depends on where you are looking and how fast you can identify your targets. Therefore, you must first master moving your line of sight. To move your line of sight, use the right stick. Now, when I give you an order, look in that direction.
All the gamer soldiers just holding control sticks.
Good. Look down. Good. You should be familiar with the up and down controls now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on.
Y is the action button, okay.
Okay. Next,
it's been that button for a while.
Right. Look right.
Oh.
Good. Look left. Good.
I feel like it's backwards.
You should be familiar with the left and right controls now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on.
Can we invert that? Maybe it... I don't know. It... Yeah.
Try left and right on the right stick one more time. Look right.
So I'm pressing left on this. I don't know. Why is that breaking my brain right now?
You should be familiar with the left and right controls now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on. Okay. You can change the controls anytime in options. Go with the method that works best for you. Next, I'll explain how to change stances.
A.
If you just stand there like an idiot in front of an enemy, you might as well kill yourself now! At times, you will need to get low to avoid detection. You have 3 stances: stand, crouch, and lying down. To change stances, use the crouch button. Tap the crouch button to change between standing and crouching. You can move in either stance. Hold the crouch button and keep it held to lie down. However, you cannot move while you are lying down. I'll say that again. You cannot move while lying down. Is that clear?
That's a real departure.
Good. Next, we'll work on your movement. Use the left stick to move around. Tilt it a little to walk slowly. Tilt farther to run. Decide which to use based on your situation. Remember that your footsteps are louder when running, making you easier to discover. Be careful!
This is the first time we've had this kind of a tutorial, like an interactive one.
Good! Now we have rolling. Rolling is useful for knocking down enemies in your way, and for getting away when surrounded. You can also use it to jump over small ditches and other obstacles. To roll, tap the crouch button while running. You got that? Tap the crouch button while running. Don't forget it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to change these. Oh yeah, it's like inverted on the left and right. I don't like it.
That's it. Next, I will explain how to attack without gunfire. You may run into an enemy unexpectedly. You may not have a weapon on you, or you may be out of ammo. You'll still need an effective attack strategy. One well-placed strike and the enemy won't know what hit him. To strike an enemy, press the attack button while standing still. On my command, press the attack button repeatedly and take down your opponent.
Was it B or X?
Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Oh, right trigger. Oh, because it is. Yeah.
Impressive, boss! Next, we're gonna practice using the stun rod. Hitting someone with the stun rod will shock them with 1.5 million volts. Anyone on the receiving end of that is guaranteed to be out cold. To use the stun rod, press the aim button to ready it, then press the attack button. You'll be glad to know we're using mock stun rods for this training session. When your partner attacks, make him believe it's the real deal. Prepare yourself for stun rod training.
He said rod.
I'm ready, boss.
Impressive, boss! Now we'll move on to CQC. CQC, or Close Quarters Combat, refers to when engaging an enemy in battle at very close range. It is a quick and efficient way of eliminating a threat. There are various CQC techniques. We will go over each of them. Don't get cocky because you think you know them. This will be different from what you're used to. Pretend you are learning it for the first time. The first technique is throwing your opponent. To do this, position yourself near your opponent and press the attack button while you tilt the left stick. Be sure to press the attack button when the icon appears. Now, wait for my command and throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
All the dudes just getting thrown back there.
Fine work, boss! Next, I'm going to teach you how to restrain an opponent close to you. This is a cornerstone of CQC. Grab hold of an enemy, and the bastard's life is in your hands. What you do from there is up to you. Just know that if you restrain him for too long, the average person will most likely pass out. Something to keep in mind. Let's begin. To restrain your opponent, hold down the attack button while near them. Restrain your opponent on my command. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Impressive, boss! Now we will throw your opponent after restraining them. To throw an enemy to the ground, press a direction on the left stick when you have them restrained. Restrain your opponent and throw them on my command. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
I just want to give you a hug. Damn!
Impressive, boss! Now we will try CQC against multiple enemy opponents. You can also take out a group of enemies by throwing an opponent you have restrained. First, restrain an opponent by pressing the attack button near them. Then, tilt the left stick to throw them. By tilting the left stick toward other enemies, you can send your captive flying straight into them. On my command, restrain and then throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Nice.
Fine work, boss! Again! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Oh, there was the other.
Fantastic!
Yeah, I saw that last time,
All right.
but
Why don't we do something special since the boss is here? Anyone who feels like getting their ass kicked, step forward. Don't hold back, boss. When you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you'll have to take them on one after the other. To do it, simply press the attack button again while throwing the current enemy.
That's what that was.
Just be sure to wait for the icon to appear. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
nice. Okay.
Fine work, boss! Again! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Fantastic! And stop! That's it for today! Thank you, boss!
Yeah, can we get out of the rain now?
Snake!
What's going on, Kaz?
We've got guests.
Time to move.
Don't worry, it's not our friends from Langley. I brought him. Made sure we won't fall.
Thank you, Big Boss.
Call me Snake.
Sorry, Vic Boss.
Listen up. For us, there is no victory.
But in Revolution, doesn't one triumph or die?
We don't do either.
Here.
Thank you. I feel like a new man. There's no coffee like Costa Rican coffee. So, what brings a distinguished scholar from the Costa Rican government to Colombia?
Professor Galvez comes from Costa Rica's University for Peace.
You see, over the past year, there have been sightings of an armed group in Costa Rica. They're not ours, of course.
Costa Rica doesn't have an army.
Correct. Article 12 of our Constitution states that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished.
The Peace Constitution.
You think it's rebels who fled Nicaragua? No, they don't appear to be guerrillas. They're far too organized. What's your government's take? The authorities in San Jose claim it's a multinational security firm, hired by the Development Corporation of Costa Rica. Lies, obviously. They're bringing in state-of-the-art weaponry and equipment by the shipload. Where'd they get that kind of cash? I fear La CIA may be involved.
The CIA.
As you both know, the United States views Central America as its backyard. Even after Cuba, we've managed to maintain a delicate balance with the U.S. And your government can't just give them the boot.
We are not allowed to bear arms.
Japan's constitution has something similar. Article 9. It says Japan renounces war and can't maintain an army.
I understand that you and your men have neither state nor ideology. That you will fight any foe. Please, you must drive them out of our defenseless country. We come to you, the Militaires Sans Frontières.
So, you want to hire us?
Yes, as our deterrent. We can't afford to pay much, it's true. But we can offer you this. A forward operating base. An offshore plant in the Caribbean.
Sounds pretty good to me. This place is becoming a mess anyway. Snake, we need someplace we can settle down.
The government's agreed to cooperate. Unofficially, of course.
A chopper for transport would be nice too.
I'll see what I can do.
Hold it. You seem to think we're just a pack of dogs of war. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I've heard. You're an army without a state.
No, we've only left our countries behind.
Please, you must help us.
If your suspicions are true, force isn't going to do any good. You'll have to find a political solution.
The government's hands are tied.
Go back to your bosses in San Jose. Tell them if they want, I'll introduce them to a negotiator I know.
No, I'm not here on their behalf.
So, what are you doing here?
For over 20 years, I've preached the virtues of peace at multiple universities. Tonight, I stand before you as an educator. This is my student. She came to me to study peace. Her name is Paz. Paz Ortega.
Paz. Peace.
No kidding. That's my name too. Kazuhira. It's Japanese for peace. Pleased to meet you, Paz. Call me Kaz.
They've got a supply port north of Puerto Limon, a town in La Costa del Mar Caribe. A few days ago, Paz stumbled upon that facility while searching for a lost friend. She was captured. She's only a child, 16 years old. They did terrible things to her, but somehow she managed to escape.
My God.
She's huérfana. Her mother died when she was small, and she lost her grandparents in the Civil War. She hates war with a passion like no other.
My name is Paz, and I will do anything to protect my namesake. It is my one and only purpose. Please, get them out of my country. Make them leave Costa Rica.
Sorry, kid.
We know who you are, Big Boss. That is why we've come to you.
Prologue: An Army Without Borders. Really like the presentation on this game with the way the movies are done, the way the dialogue's done. And it makes sense. Alright, 10th of November, Caribbean coast.
Miller here. Do you copy, Snake? I see you've landed. That makes one giant leap for us. I'm sending this from the offshore plant, our mother base. The signal is unidirectional. I'll be giving you commands and advice through this channel. Keep your headphones on at all times and pay attention. Also, make sure no one else can listen in. Snake, are you clear on the controls? Take a minute to refresh your memory. Use the left stick to move. Use the right stick to adjust your view.
Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, there we are. It makes sense the way the controls are done. Yeah, see, left and right is inverse. Maybe I did that by accident earlier, or was that default? I don't know. I don't like it though. Just press start again.
To change your settings, use the start button to open the menu.
Yeah, so the idea of doing the scenes like that makes a lot of sense. You can't have Metal Gear Solid 4 in the PSP. You know, it was always the meme in Metal Gear Solid 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 3, that like, oh, we did this scene, you know, in a codec call, that way we didn't have to animate it as much. And Metal Gear Solid 4 barely did any of that for the most part. It had these long, like 30-minute scenes that were fully animated.
Going around. Why not try some shooting practice? Select a target and squeeze off a round or two. Press the X and B buttons while holding RB to switch weapons. Ready your weapon with LT, then press RT to fire.
Alright, we got reloading.
Select equipment by pressing the X or B button while holding LB. To check your map, press the start button to open the menu. The M16 is a standard assault rifle, capable of rapid fire.
What's going on, Tusk?
The over-the-shoulder view allows you to aim with a high degree of precision. Body part targeting correction will automatically shift your aim to hit nearby body parts. If you want to change the aim settings, take a look under Options. Hitting an enemy's vital points can bring them down with a single shot. You can also intentionally avoid lethal shots. Say if you just want to slow the target down. The Mark 22 tranquilizer gun can put enemies to sleep. The closer to the head you hit, the more effective it is. Tranquilizer rounds are hard to come by. Don't waste them.
So... okay, what was... is it right? Oh, okay, yeah. Alright, let's get the Mark 22. You know I'm going to be using that. So look at the little radar thing. It kind of pings when you make noise. I think it's detecting all the other noise around. Oh, just more free ammo. Cool. I think we go under there, maybe? I don't know. Or we go through here.
The facility you're headed for
Oh.
is past that fence. A grenade should be able to take out that gate. Grenades explode. You throw them, Snake. Use LT
Damn.
to ready throwing weapons. Once you've readied the weapon, throw with RT. When using throwing weapons, hold the attack button down longer to throw farther. You won't throw the weapon until you let go of the button.
I'm not sure if I've seen that or not, Tusk. I'll check that out later, though. I just took a peek at it.
Good. You'll reach the objective when you clear the jungle. Head east.
Alright, let's go.
I gotta thank you for agreeing to this, Snake. Man, am I glad to be out of here. Finally, we can leave all that crap in San Geronimo behind and break into the mercenary business for real. Let me guess. You're doing it for her, aren't you? For her.
We get a boss flashback. Or is it pause? You know, this man cannot light
They're
that.
still here.
Come on, Snake. This could be good for us. They're willing to give us an offshore plant, a place we can finally put down some roots. This is our chance to expand MSF.
We don't need a place to stay, guys. We're nomads. And we always will be.
What? You'd rather keep wandering from conflict to conflict? Tools in the hands of whoever's fighting at the time?
The second we settle down, who's to say we won't become the warmongers?
Listen to me, Snake. We're not mercenaries. We're not a foreign legion. MSF's a business. A new kind of business. Look, it's not like we're trying to start a war here. All we need to do is find out who this security company really is.
Come on, Kaz. It's pretty obvious that they're backed by the CIA.
Wait a sec. That would mean...
Our friend, the professor, is likely KGB.
I see.
We'd be making an enemy of our homeland.
And there'd be no turning back.
This damn thing won't light.
Huh?
Put on some coffee, Kaz. It's time for a little chat with the professor.
Okay.
I was a heavy smoker. When I got my medal from the Secretary General, he gave me this prosthetic hand as well. But smoking was ruining my lungs, so I quit. I've not had much use for it since.
CCCP.
It's quite an honor to meet the legendary Big Boss.
Definitely KGB ties.
That's just a code name the CIA made up.
Then perhaps I should call you John.
I don't have a name. Stop using that code name you liked so much 10 years ago. What about you, comrade? What do they call you back at Center?
Well then, allow me to get straight to the point. Land as slim as a whip, hot as torture.
That's the Chilean poet, Neruda.
Central America is the navel of the American continents, bridging north and south. We want this land. We'll build a socialist stronghold, then use it to split the Americas in two.
America would lose its backyard.
And with it, its economic production, shipping lanes, and strategic value. We, on the other hand, would gain a base from which all of Latin America would be well within our reach. He who controls Central America will win this Cold War. First comes Nicaragua, toppling the pro-American Somoza regime. In preparation, we've begun instigating anti-Somoza sentiment and providing aid to the Sandinista National Liberation Front.
You're manipulating Sandinista into overthrowing Somoza for you.
After the revolution, Nicaragua will become a socialist state.
You think America's just gonna let that happen?
Certainly not. After all, the CIA is already here.
And that's the armed group inside Costa Rica.
Precisely. It's clear that they've been sent in to disrupt our efforts across the border in Nicaragua. Simply put, the army now stationed in Costa Rica is CIA capital. But it's more complex than that. The CIA's got something else planned as well.
What?
That is the million-dollar question. Big Boss, we want you and your unit to find the answer. Infiltrate and investigate the facility in La Costa, where Paz was imprisoned. Learn all you can of their operations. Then, drive them out of the country.
You're asking us to settle a turf war between the KGB and the CIA?
What about her? That was all just an act?
You mean her words about peace? She was captured, that much is true. But I've kept my KGB affiliation from her.
And you thought we'd fall for a sob story?
No. I had good reason to bring her along. She managed to escape with her life, but her friend was not so lucky. Why were they attacked? I believe this will help explain. Perhaps they saw something they weren't supposed to. Perhaps they heard something they shouldn't have.
A cassette tape?
Paz took this during her escape. She says her friend happened to record it by accident.
What is that?
A portable stereo cassette player. The first of its kind.
Ah, I heard they were working on something like that in Japan. Didn't know you guys were too.
I believe what you're about to hear will help you understand.
What is that? A Quetzal?
The phoenix bird.
Paz's friend was researching birds. She went out into the jungle to record bird calls and stumbled upon this.
So? So what?
Now it gets interesting.
Poisonous. I need to get rid of it. I chase it back to its nest. You can't. The snake's too vicious. It's all... Many people. I chase it away. It will bite you unless you kill it. Go home.
Boss. Voice print analysis confirms that this voice is indeed that of the legendary hero and criminal, the boss.
What?
You call loyalty.
The other hasn't been identified. Female in her 30s with a British accent.
Ideology? Feeling?
The song playing in the background was a hit in 1973.
What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your mentor? Your mission or your beliefs?
I am loyal to
Boss
myself.
is alive in Costa Rica.
As I understand it, she was your commander, fought by your side. And that you killed her under orders from the CIA, thus surpassing her to become the hero known as Big Boss. Well, what'll it be? Will you take the job?
Snake, it's gotta be a trap.
So you still can't turn your back on your country? Then I suppose you won't need this.
Wait!
Snake?
I'll do it for the girl. For Paz.
Okay. For peace, then.
Yeah, the moment you hear that voice, it's like, oh, that's the boss. Okay. I recognize that voice. Yo, this man is blind.
There they are. CIA mercs. Snake, you've got to get past them undetected. Avoid combat whenever possible.
This man got that genome soldier vision.
This is a sneaking mission. Hide behind stuff. Take the long way around. Whatever it takes to stay out of sight. Your gun is a last resort. It could just as easily kill you as save you.
Cool.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
Does he have more? No.
Freeze.
Can I just leave him? I don't want to hurt my suppressor. I think you can on here. Oh, you still got Ish. Nice. Bro, how much stuff do you have? Oh, there's a dude. Alright, we up in here now. It's still kind of wild to think that this was a PSP game. Like, I mean, the graphics, they're still pretty good considering that. But the graphics are the main thing. Like, okay, it's obviously not, it doesn't look as good as, like, you know, 4, obviously. It doesn't even look as good as 3, I guess, but it's still pretty decent.
The indicator in the upper right serves as a compass and shows sound sources. Pay attention to your surroundings.
A ration.
The percentage in the
Can the
upper
thing go
right
away?
is your camo index. The lower the number, the more easily you'll be spotted. Conspicuous movements and loud noises will compromise your camo index. Your fatigues will act as camouflage.
There was a God of War for PSP?
Make your way east.
How does that
Keep
work?
what's left of your life gauge on the left of the screen. To the right of that, you'll see your sight gauge. Exhausting it will inhibit your actions. Your life gauge will recover with time. The sight gauge too. You'll recover faster crouching than standing up.
Oh.
Lying flat works even better.
It's kind of Metal Gear Solid 4. You have to hold the button to stay laying down. You can't just lay down. Like, if I let go of the button, I just stand up. I thought it was Vice City Stories, not like the actual Vice City, right? Bosque del Alba. Ooh, that... the aliasing on that was not great. On that tower. I know I've played this before. This is vaguely familiar. I haven't played much of this game, though.
Like you're inside the compound. Security is tight. Stay sharp.
Oh, look how hyped that is getting, credits during this. Nope.
I know I saw something.
They should go out at some point.
I know I saw something.
It's really delayed, or you have to... Okay, yeah, it's really delayed. That's so hype with the credits. I don't know, like... Other games have done this, even other Metal Gear Solid games. The first Metal Gear Solid game did this. Something about it on here just seems hype, though. Because we're like 40 minutes in, and it's like, oh, by the way, here's some credits. You're just getting started. By the way, I think if I had zoomed in more on Paz, it would have shown, like, injuries and stuff. I remembered a bit too late. I thought, for a second, I thought it was weird fan service, and I was like, I'm gonna just not zoom in more. As it, like, undresses her. But I think you do see injuries and stuff where she was captured. I hear someone. No! No!
Looking for a two-story building to the east.
Okay, we saved it. Just barely. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that, but okay. It's gonna keep giving me anesthetic. Why do they have so many anesthetic rounds? Opening, investigate the supply facility, mission complete. Just a crate of rubber nipples in here.
Yes, sir, we broke them. We acquired the whereabouts of Target 500.
Acknowledged.
What?
Spears are loaded. The barge is cleared Point Bravo.
Acknowledged. Out.
Oh!
Freeze.
I missed the first one.
Cargo. Where's it headed? What is it?
Air suit. In the mountains.
What's up there?
Now I know to be ready for that stuff. Oof. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Oh, has he got a card?
This is Snake. Kaz, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You found a radio.
It's got a circuit that reverses the audio phase.
Let's switch frequencies from time to time, just to make sure we're not detected.
I found a map of their bases. The cargo's heading from the marshes west towards Irasu.
Nice going, boss.
Kaz, this place is full of film badges. Dozens of them.
Film badges? Like the ones used to measure radiation exposure?
The radio man was wearing one. And whoever he was talking to called the cargo Spears.
Wait, that would mean...
Nukes. They're bringing nukes into Costa Rica.
Holy Mother of God.
Always nukes. Oh, damn. I forgot, I don't think we had a title card yet. Peace Walker. Weapon experience. I forgot that was a thing. So yeah, we're definitely gonna level up that that Mark 22. we're gonna be working on that for a minute. Cool. Not bad. Oh, see, I missed one cutscene interaction bonus. I didn't realize that was going to be a thing, and I missed the first one. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's saying RT. It's not just like a sound effect. Following words can now be infused with heroic spirit. Here. Design specs for M1C. Rank 1. Smoke grenade design specs, rank 1.
How's that map, Snake? Think you can use it?
It tells me where their bases are, but it's just a bunch of points. No routes. I need better intel on the lay of the land.
Snake, the professor said he's got the Sandinistas on his side. Said you should get in touch with the FSL and Commandante.
Do they know they're backed by the KGB?
Nah. As far as they know, they're really fighting for the revolution. The KGB is staying behind the scenes. I'm not sure the Sandinistas are aware of what's really going on.
Still can't believe anybody would bring nukes here.
Yeah, that's a shocker. Costa Rica's party to the Tlatelolco Treaty, which declares Latin America a nuke-free zone. Based on Japan's 3 non-nuclear principles, it bans the testing, use, import, or deployment of nuclear weapons. If word of this gets out, Opinol will be forced to act. It'll cause an international uproar.
The treaty was signed to prevent another Cuban Missile Crisis. If the U.S. itself is gonna scrap it...
Latin America is too close to spawning another Cuba or two already. The entire continent would become one big powder keg.
Well, if they did bring nukes, we can't let them get away with it.
Are they planning a test, showing off? Or is it all to keep the anti-American movement in check?
Good question. Why bring them here? I can't figure it out.
Whatever the CIA's up to in Costa Rica, the professor wants it stopped. We need to find out what that something is.
We need to get ready first, Kaz. Repairs?
Working as fast as we can, boss. This place is pretty beat. It looks like hell. But as long as you're with us, we'll make it heaven. No one can bother us here. No state telling us what to do. This is the MSF's haven, our mother base. And with this foothold, we'll back you up even better than before. We're gonna turn this pile of junk into something big.
Cool. It is cool to see him wearing the glasses, because even though it was Liquid in Metal Gear Solid, he was wearing the glasses there. It's just been part of the character since way back. Welcome to MSF's Mother Base. Mother Base can support your mission in many different ways, from developing new weapons to collecting intelligence. Okay. Operations of Militaires Sans Frontières. It provides everything from staff living quarters to weapon and item R&D facilities to vehicle storage bays. As MSF grows, Mother Base will grow along with it. Oh, you can just zoom in and stuff. Oh, I can't zoom in anymore. Oh, because it'll get significantly larger, right? Cool. Humble beginnings, right? All right, so staff, R&D. Let's see the tutorial, why not? At Mother Base, you can develop new weapons and items for use in missions. This, yeah, the Mark 22. We need GMP. If you run out of GMP, deployment may come to a halt. More powerful weapons and items will make difficult missions that much easier. This concludes. That was very basic. Cannot develop. R&D team level 2 or higher. Current 0. Yeah, this is the origin, dude. This is the origin tusk. Oh, you can view the model of the weapons too. That's nice. Not as good as Metal Gear Solid 4 for obvious reasons, but still pretty cool. Alright, so we don't have any money right now. We don't have any GMPs, so not worth hanging around here too long. We have staff. We'll get a tutorial. Kaz is here. It's weird, I'm used to calling him Kaz now at this point, but for a long time I didn't want to call him anything other than Miller because of Metal Gear Solid. Master Miller. Mother Base is divided into several teams, including the combat unit, the R&D team, and the waiting room. By dividing your staff between the teams and raising each team's level, you'll be able to develop new weapons and items over time. Select Auto Assign in the waiting room to automatically assign staff to teams according to their abilities. Recruiting talented personnel and exploiting their talents with the right assignments is the key to expanding Mother Base. This concludes the tutorial. Yeah, if you're just gonna let me auto-assign, I'll do it. I'm too lazy to do that. So now we can do the Hush Puppy Rank 2 Analyzer. However, oh, we have GMP. I thought we didn't. All right, bump that, we're getting this. You prefer to call him Miller? Does this go in real time? Like, I don't know how long it's gonna take. That's a sniper. The empty mag. What do we have in here? Analyzer, let's go. We got the different uniforms. We could be naked! Yes. Best uniform. And we're gonna do versus ops, but look around a little bit. That old ass Xbox interface though. Alright, I guess it's time to pick a mission. What, you'd rather keep wandering from conflict to conflict? Tools, okay, loads too fast. It's almost like PC. Let's see, we select a mission, you can play co-op. To become the host, blah blah blah, okay. Co-ops, not just co-op. So we can see the player count on the missions, right? 0 of 1, 0 of 1, 0 of 2. So not all missions are co-op. Co-ops. So Fulton Recovery is an extra ops. So we'll do the Fulton Recovery. Get a radio soldier. Killing him will result in instant mission failure.
The boss has infiltrated the area around the coastal supply facility and knocked out the soldier there. But we can't just leave him there to be found. I need you to get in there and capture the unconscious soldier using the Fulton Recovery system. Do it quickly before he comes to.
Alright, briefing files. You can review the radio mission briefing, mission prep to select weapons and all that good stuff. So briefing files is what we just started, right? Oh, no.
Snake, you can use the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system to send prisoners and unconscious mercenaries you encounter back to Mother Base. I know you've used the Fulton before, but just to make sure I'm not missing anything, let's review the steps.
Okay.
First, attach a balloon to the unconscious enemy or captured prisoner.
Right. I hook a wire to their waist, and on the other end of the wire, there's a helium balloon.
Right. Then we'll send over a chopper to catch the floating balloon with its recovery hook and reel it up into its cargo hold.
And that's it?
And that's it. We finished installing the recovery hook on the Huey.
Wait, Kaz. Something doesn't make sense about this whole process.
This again.
Well, normally, Fulton Recovery is for when you're using fixed-wing aircraft. With a helicopter, isn't it simpler to land and pick up directly?
Listen, Snake. You're going to be calling for recoveries repeatedly throughout your mission. We want to keep the risk of taking enemy fire to a minimum. The best way to get that done is to do the recovery in a high-speed flyby. That's what the Fulton surface-to-air recovery system is for.
Uh-huh. What's the real reason?
Helicopters are cheaper, and the repair bills will start adding up once the bullets start flying.
I thought so. Kaz,
what was that?
I know we need to keep costs down, but...
Boss, you really need to get rid of this whole army mentality. We're not the Pentagon. We don't have billions of taxpayer dollars to play with. And besides...
Fine. Just pick a reason that makes sense.
Helicopters have quicker response time. Sounds strange, yeah, but it works great. I promise. You'll get used to it before long.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. And this is for this same mission?
The mercenary supply base is situated on elevated ground by the coast. I heard them call it Puerto del Alba, Port of Dawn. They have perfect visibility of the area from up there. We did our best to sneak in undetected, but one of the guards spotted us and we...
What is it?
I'm sorry. You'll have to ask Professor Galvez the rest.
It's okay. You've been through a lot.
I am sorry. I just cannot.
You did great, Paz. I won't let your efforts go wasted.
And these are just for... Oh, we got stuff. We got stuff to do.
shape is that plant the professor gave us in?
First time I laid eyes on it, I thought it was some kind of joke. It was a giant birdhouse, seagulls everywhere. We eventually scraped off most of the rust and bird crap. The underlying structure's intact. Little elbow grease, and we should be in business.
Who used to own it anyway? Whatever shape it's in now, somebody sank some serious money into building it.
From what I can tell, an American university built it as a research platform for ocean thermal energy conversion. The name's still on some of the rusty old power turbines. I'm guessing they must have had government and corporate assistance to build it too. But they couldn't solve the thermal efficiency problem, and the project was canceled. Then after the university abandoned it, a KGB front company scooped it up for next to nothing. At least that's my theory.
How'd the KGB manage to buy a plant built with American capital, front company or not?
Yeah, that professor is quite the operator. One other thing. The plant's set up so that it can join up with other plants of the same standard.
So, they were originally planning on expanding the place, huh?
Hey, let's give it a shot. We can get some more people together and build this place up into a proper home for MSF. You're with me on this, right, boss? Remember why we created MSF Snake. To provide military force to whoever needs it, wherever they are, regardless of nation or ideology. Our beliefs aren't all that lofty.
We just won't be the tools of any one country.
Exactly. We know only how to fight. But we refuse to live our lives at the whim of the state. The MSF seal is patterned after Pangaea, the supercontinent from 250 million years ago. Back then, the whole world was one landmass, one world. No gaps, no rifts.
Our strength will take us back there. What about you, Kaz? Any interest in expanding MSF?
You'd better believe it. I want to make us into an organization that doesn't take orders from any country. Just like you were saying, we have to be strong. Strong enough to defend ourselves. We need money, too. Money to train soldiers to fight. The way I see it, we make MSF into something along the lines of a new kind of business. A contractor providing the full range of military services. Not just combat, but logistics, training, weapons, outfitting, and R&D. Combining the small footprint and exceptional performance of special forces with the raw military might of a full regular army. Only with that kind of power can we break free of nation states. What I need from you, boss, is to go out and find guys we can bring back here using Fulton Recovery. Then tell us what assignment to use them for. I'll take care of the rest. Your old mentor, the boss. She was known in the West as the mother of special forces, right?
Nothing but propaganda.
Actually, it's not all that far from the truth. I heard the KGB just set up a counter-sabotage cell. Alpha Group, I think they call it. There's even a rumor that West Germany created a counter-terrorist unit within its border police after the debacle at the Munich Olympics. Back home in the States, they've got the illustrious Green Berets, the SEALs, and your personal creation, Foxhound. The seeds sown by the boss are beginning to sprout. Same goes for MSF, right? In creating it, you were carrying on the will of the boss.
Yeah. She taught me how to fight the hard way. She beat it into me.
And now, thanks to her, we can take on missions other than just conventional combat. After all, we've got the same mother as the Army's Special Forces.
So I like this because even without listening to these right now, we already see the seeds, I guess no pun intended because they just mentioned that, but we already see the seeds being planted for where the series has to go from here. Because we know that by Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, Big Boss has built up like this idea of outer heaven, right? He's actually built this stuff up, and what we're seeing here seems to be the humble beginnings of that, right? We're a military without borders. Militaire sans frontières.
Still can't believe Professor Galvez was KGB.
Well, like the professor said, Moscow's hell-bent on communizing Latin America.
Yeah, the Cuban intel services are all in the KGB's pocket. You don't think he's got some kind of ulterior motive?
If If the CIA is up to something, it's only natural that the KGB wants to know about it. But I doubt they're showing us their full hand.
We'd better watch our backs.
What do you think, Kaz? Why did Paz come all the way to Columbia herself?
It's a long trip to make just to be Exhibit A in Galvez's sales pitch. She's only 16, still a kid. Maybe we should take her wish for peace at face value. Costa Rica isn't alone. All of Latin America is getting swept up in the superpowers' Cold War. The whole ideological split between East and West. In the end, it's just a greedy scramble for wealth by the ruling classes. The Western bourgeois stand to lose everything if their countries go communist. After all, the communists want to abolish private property altogether. So the capitalist rulers desperately tried to halt the global spread of communism. Hence the phenomenon of red baiting. And the communists, for their part, didn't exactly stay true to their principles. They tried to escape class-based society. But between Stalin's autocracy and the rise of the nomenklatura, they ended up creating one anyway. Once people have power, they stop caring about equality. That's where communism, where society in general reaches its limits. The rulers only care about their own gain. The opposing side becomes a risk factor that threatens the profit, and thus the ongoing struggle between capitalism and communism was born.
And now, nuclear deterrence is part of the picture.
Exactly.
My man Miller spitting facts over here.
They say nuclear weapons are the reason we haven't seen conflict on a global scale since World War II. The thought that your opponent might launch nukes against you sort of makes it tough to start an armed conflict, especially now that they've got intercontinental ballistic missiles. Nowhere is safe.
Of course, all that has caused military expenditures to skyrocket.
Well, the only way to ward off a preemptive strike is to flaunt your own nuclear stockpile. And that's caused their numbers to increase exponentially, not just with regards to destructive power, but in terms of targeting technology too. Now they can hit a target halfway across the world with pinpoint accuracy. In a way, the space race was a demonstration of that technological progress.
And as a result of all that, we now have mutually assured destruction.
It's the ultimate form of deterrence. No one's going to launch their nukes knowing they'll be obliterated in return.
I don't know. The chance of somebody hitting the button by mistake is never zero.
You're right. Even with peace guaranteed by MAD, there's always the risk of an accident.
Nobody wants the world to end on account of some machines malfunctioning.
On the other hand, thanks to deterrence, we haven't had a world war since 1945. You gotta admit, it has been pretty peaceful.
Not that it matters to us.
People point at the nuclear arms and space races and call it a Cold War. I say if they're not shooting at each other, why not call it world peace?
Doesn't mean war is gone. Look at Korea. Look at Vietnam.
I was gonna say.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking in relative terms here. Besides, if war died out completely, we'd be SOL.
We're not warmongers.
And yet, we can't survive in a world that's at peace.
You've got a point.
So it's been more than 10 years since the Cuban Missile Crisis, huh?
I don't think we'll ever forget it.
No kidding. Those 13 days starting October 15th, 1962, were probably the closest we ever came to all-out nuclear war.
2 minutes to midnight.
The Russians deployed nuclear missiles to Cuba. America responded with a naval blockade. Then Russia shot down an American spy plane. I was still a teenager back then, but I remember what it felt like to be one step away from nuclear war. The adults were freaking out.
If it wasn't for the Cuban Missile Crisis, there might never have been an Operation Snake Eater. And...
What's the matter, Snake? It's not like you to get all hypothetical.
I guess not. It was the reassessment after the missile crisis that paved the way for the hotline between Moscow and Washington, and also for détente. That's irony for you.
The Treaty of Tlatelolco was enacted to make Latin America into a nuclear-free zone. It bans the testing, use, manufacture, production, acquisition, storage, and deployment of nuclear weapons. The impetus was pretty obvious. The series of crises triggered by the deployment of nukes in Cuba.
Not hard to imagine. Those 13 days had the whole world frozen in fear.
Of course, the country that started it all, Cuba, hasn't actually ratified it yet.
Still, the treaty's backed by over 20 countries. Anyone flouting it risks becoming an international pariah.
True. Opinel would investigate, no doubt. I heard they used Japan's 3 non-nuclear principles as their model when they drew up the treaty. I think the Treaty of Tlatelolco might have been their way of asking nuclear powers not to use nukes against them. That's the biggest difference between the treaty and the 3 principles. I guess you could call it a 4th principle.
See, but that's something that gets brought up a lot, is it's a little bit fucked up how the US, for instance, will have nuclear weapons and say, oh, but you guys can't do that. It's okay if we do it, but you guys can't do that, right? You have the US and USSR as the main 2 players throughout the Cold War, building up these huge reserves of nuclear weapons while simultaneously frowning on others who, well, more so the US frowning on others for doing the same thing and discouraging it. And then, of course, in the 90s, you have the START treaties and everything after the fall of the USSR. So it's a little bit different at that point, but it's still similar. Like, we agreed, the U.S. and Russia agreed that they would both reduce the number of nuclear weapons and all that, but they still have them. And again, we constantly try to discourage others from having nuclear weapons as well. So it's not just a bit, it is very hypocritical, I guess. But it's always interesting. It's kind of fucked up. Like, when you have all these other groups, you know, they keep using the phrase with Latin America being the U.S.'s backyard. When you have someone that close to you building up these reserves of nuclear weapons and say, you know, oh, but if you do it, we're going to be mad, you know, we won't let you do it. It's kind of fucked up, because why would they not want to protect themselves as well with that idea of deterrence, right? Tusk is saying Miller's face looks too good. It can't be PSP. I mean, this is the HD version of the game, but I think that could have been done on the PSP, since it's just a still image, like a render. Because it's not in-game graphics, you know, it's not something being rendered in real time.
So Costa Rica abolished its army back in, what, 1949? Pretty gutsy move for a Central American nation at the time.
Yeah, well, they'd just come out of a civil war. I'm sure they were driven by a desire to avoid another tragedy like Paz said. But I think they had a more compelling reason. Army coup d'etat are a way of life in so many Latin American countries. Imagine seeing that up close.
No army, no coup. Makes sense.
Plus, their economy was in ruins, so they honestly didn't have any money to spend on an army anyway.
Yeah, but weren't they on less than friendly terms with Nicaragua?
Yeah, and in fact, Nicaragua did end up invading. But the Civil Guard fought back, and the OAS brokered a ceasefire. The U.S. and the rest of the OAS had their back, and they used it to full advantage. For a quarter century, they survived in the powder keg of Central America. That must have taken some serious diplomacy, even if the Civil Guard is pretty decked out for a police force.
Must be tough to be a country without an army.
You know, the other thing, just on that previous topic, actually, this one might be very relevant to what I was about to say, the CIA's activities in Central America. The U.S. is very good at destabilizing, especially in Latin America. The U.S. is very good at going in and destabilizing regions and then putting their own puppets in power. And they still do it today. The U.S. still does it today. Without going into too much detail, let's just say they were involved in some activities in Eastern Europe about 9 years ago or so. I mean, and they've been involved in plenty more than that, right? They've been doing it all over the world for a long time now. Hey, we don't like these people that are in power over there because they don't serve our political interests. So let's go destabilize the region and try to put one of our own puppets in power so we can get what we want. We can get oil. We can get them to rely on us for oil, use the petrodollar, you know. Almost every time a leader in some country is trying to move away from the petrodollar, which is backed by the US dollar, it's essentially the thing that's propping up the US dollar as the world reserve currency, because most of the world trades in the petrodollar. So anytime someone tries to move away from that petrodollar, it seems like there just so happens to be a destabilization of their government. Their leader gets overthrown, and somebody who's sympathetic to the US politics, to the US way of life, to the petrodollar, just happens to be placed into power. It's very convenient. And that's just one example, but the U.S. was super involved in Central America. I think we're going to hear about it here, but the CIA, I mean, they've done a lot of crazy shit.
Hey, Snake, mind if I ask you something?
Since when did you start asking permission?
So, you used to be part of a CIA paramilitary unit, right?
That's right.
Ever do any ops in Central America?
No, not personally. But there were other units who did all kinds of stuff.
I remember the Bay of Pigs invasion back in '61. The papers had a field day with it.
Operation Zapata. That was the CIA code name. The whole thing went south.
Then there was Che Guevara, being hunted down in Bolivia. I heard the CIA had a hand in that, too.
There were several units similar to mine. MSP, SOG. They'd recruit former special forces, train them as intelligence agents, and send them on deniable covert paramilitary operations. One of those units trained the Bolivian army in counter-guerrilla tactics.
And then had them shoot El Che.
So the story goes.
Around here, they say La CIA instead of CIA, huh?
Nothing strange about it. That's how it's pronounced when you read it in Spanish.
It has the feminine noun ending a, so they use the article la. Apparently, some people have taken to using the term UCLA.
That's a new one to me. What's it mean?
It stands for Unilaterally Controlled Latino Assets.
Meaning they're local agents?
Yeah, that's the idea. Washington uses them like pawns, and nobody knows who they really are or what they're doing.
All right, peace constitutions. We've heard a lot about these already. Some of these ideas of, you know, in our constitution it says we can't have a standing army. Yeah, here we go. Japan, U.S.-Japan Security Treaty. Is that the post-World War II treaty? Because that was pretty interesting.
You were saying Japan has a peace constitution too.
Yep. Japan renounced war in Article 9 of its constitution, aspiring sincerely to an international peace based on justice and order. The Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right of the nation, and the threat or use of force as a means of settling international disputes. In order to accomplish the aim of the preceding paragraph, land, sea, and air forces, as well as other war potential, will never be maintained. The right of belligerency of the state will not be recognized.
You know it by heart.
Some things you never forget.
Impressive. There were some parts I didn't quite get, though. Like the whole means of settling conflicts thing.
Yeah, that's been the subject of debate. Whether or not it forbids any and all use of force. The current Constitution was originally drawn up under the Allied occupation. The first draft was even submitted by Allied GHQ. So naturally, there are some who feel the Constitution was imposed on Japan by foreigners.
Things like that are never simple. Same for every country, I guess.
One thing's for sure, though. Not having an army let Japan focus on economic recovery after the war. In that sense, it's the same as Costa Rica.
Yeah, so they're referencing what I was hinting at. There are different ways you can view this, and one of them is pretty critical of the U.S. because, again, the U.S. has done a lot of good and bad. And I think it's fair to be critical and recognize some of those things where we did win that war, but it looks a lot like we kind of just went in and pushed everything around and said, no, this is how you're going to do it. We won. Nothing else matters. Like, you're doing it our way. It, from one perspective, looks very unfair to Japan. I mean, we might hear more about it. I don't feel like I can 100% speak on it, but I know a little bit about it, and my dad actually spent a lot of time over there in like the late 50s and early 60s, and he had a lot to say about it. Like, you know, I've talked to him about it before. He was in the Navy back then, and you know, he just told me how Japan was and how their view of people from the US was at the time. And then he talked a little bit about some of the policies that, you know, the treaty and stuff.
Kaz, you were in the Japanese Self-Defense Force, right? I thought that Article 9 you were talking about earlier prevented Japan from having an army.
Yeah, and that's another subject of controversy. The Self-Defense Force is an organization for the purpose of defense. Article 9 of the Constitution does not deny Japan's right to self-defense. Therefore, the SDF is constitutional. That's Tokyo's official stance.
Sounds complicated.
Call it what you will. It's a distinctly Japanese way of interpreting things.
The U.S. has military forces stationed in Japan, right?
Right. Even though the Allied occupation ended, American forces are still stationed there under the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty.
Unlike Costa Rica.
Part of it stems from the occupation, but Japan also occupies a key strategic position from America's perspective. It's next door to the Soviet Union and close to China and North Korea as well. It's integral to the security of Pacific Asia. For America, Japan represents a barrier against communism.
What about for Japan?
As you might expect, there's deep-rooted opposition to the alliance. In 1960 and 1970, when the treaty was up for revision, there were mass protest movements against it, especially in Okinawa. The U.S. only gave it back to Japan 2 years ago, and American bases are still concentrated there. It's a heavy burden for the Okinawans to bear.
Then why don't they scrap the treaty?
Lots of reasons. There's the imbalance of power with the U.S., of course, and if Japan pulled out, they'd be losing the nuclear umbrella America provides. And as for whether the JSDF could defend the country after the Americans left, I really couldn't say. Costa Rica is in a similar situation. They depend on the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance, the so-called Rio Pact.
So, the countries with peace constitutions end up having to rely on other countries' armies. Kind of ironic.
On the flip side, not everybody in America is satisfied with it either. Some people argue Japan is freeloading off America's security guarantee. And you know how Japan's industrial exports are making inroads in the States.
Yeah, I've got a Japanese camera myself. Best damn camera around.
Japan's low defense spending allows it to invest more in economic recovery and expand its share of the American market. That's a bitter pill for Americans to swallow.
I mean, I would partially agree. I wouldn't call it freeloading per se, because from my perspective, the U.S. has a tendency to go in, occupy an area, and they force their own, like they put their own bases, they force their own ideologies into that region. And that's what we saw over the last 20 years with the in the Middle East. After 9/11, the U.S. swiftly moves into Iraq and Afghanistan, and particularly Afghanistan. I mean, we stayed there for 20 years. And, you know, we're building up bases. We're trying to bring our own ideologies over there. And that's kind of how I view the U.S.-Japan treaty situation as well. Some people might call it freeloading, but to me, the U.S. goes in and says, hey, you can't have an army, but we got your back. We'll stay here. We'll put our own bases and stuff here. We'll protect you. It's okay. But that can be, you know, both positive and negative, depending on how you want to look at it.
You know that today, Japan is under the American nuclear umbrella.
Right.
The U.S. vowed to retaliate against any country that launches a nuclear strike against an allied country. That promise deters nuclear attacks against America's allies, hence the term nuclear umbrella. But suppose the Russians nuke Tokyo. Would America really nuke Moscow in return? If they did, the Soviet Union would undoubtedly retaliate. Would Washington really be willing to risk having a bomb dropped on itself in order to avenge Japan? I'm not so sure.
Don't tell me you're still worried about Japan. After all these years?
It's not that.
To be honest, I'm not convinced either. But Moscow faces the same dilemma. Maybe Washington wouldn't retaliate on Japan's behalf. Then again, maybe it would.
So you're saying Moscow wouldn't want to risk being attacked either?
The whole concept of nuclear deterrence is entirely hypothetical to begin with. When you get down to it, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Tusk in the chat though, a surveillance camera? The 3 non-nuclear principles.
Japan shall not possess, manufacture, or allow the introduction of nuclear weapons into Japan. Those are the 3 non-nuclear principles set forth by the Japanese government.
Allow the introduction? That's funny. Some of the U.S. warships that visit Japanese ports are armed with nukes. Or are you going to tell me they transfer them at sea onto other ships every time they visit?
You raise a good point, Snake. But the Japanese government doesn't recognize it as such. The introduction of nuclear weapons into Japanese territory would need to be agreed upon in advance. America hasn't made any such agreements. Therefore, they aren't bringing nukes into Japan. That's the official excuse.
What?
Doesn't sound like much of an excuse to me.
I don't blame you. Keep in mind, though, Japan suffered actual nuclear attacks. Anti-nuke sentiment there runs deeper than you think. I suppose the government's not really in a position to admit that sort of thing.
That's ridiculous. Well, we didn't agree to let you bring the nukes in, so when you brought them in, you didn't actually bring them in.
So tell me, Kaz, how's the self-defense force you were in different from an army?
The JSDF is set up for national defense. It's not configured for aggression against other countries. It's what you'd call exclusive defense.
Exclusive defense?
It's the fundamental strategic posture of the JSDF. No preemptive attacks. Only the minimum defensive action necessary after an enemy attacks.
Anything defined as self-defense, then?
The JSDF originated as the National Police Reserve. Back then, American forces stationed in Japan were being sent over to fight in the Korean War. So in a sense, the NPR was filling a gap.
Police, huh? Reminds me of the Costa Rican Civil Guard.
Yeah, exactly. They're also dispatched to provide disaster relief. The year before I joined, they had a hell of a time trying to rescue some buses that got hit by landslides.
So why'd you quit the JSDF?
Because I didn't have a reason to be in Japan anymore.
A reason?
My mom had died 3 years earlier, so I didn't have to care for her anymore. With her gone, there was no point hanging around in Japan.
Yeah, but a man with your talents could have risen pretty high in the ranks, I imagine.
I don't know what they made of me. Could be it actually alienated me from the brass. And personally, I could never get used to the idea of exclusive defense.
Meaning?
On a strategic level, I can see how a country could go with the exclusive defense model used by the JSDF. And I've got nothing against my fellow soldiers who believe in it. On a tactical level, though, it just rubbed me the wrong way. To put it simply, I was itching for a real fight.
I figured.
And I felt as long as I was in the JSDF, I'd never be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with my father, who was in the U.S. Army. Seeing Yukio Mishima's suicide didn't help either.
Yukio Mishima, the guy who wrote The Temple of the Golden Pavilion.
The way he questioned the status quo hit home with me. Not that I admired his vision or anything, but it did get me thinking, that's for sure.
All right, just a few more here. Who knows how many of these are going to expand into, and there's still pause to go.
Don't forget to give the MSF staff assignments. Where you place people will determine how Mother Base grows.
Right.
That goes for me too. Assign me wherever you think is best.
You? I thought you were second in command.
Don't worry, I've got that covered. But MSF is still small, and I don't have the leisure of sitting around on my butt all day.
I see your point, but...
Not to brag or anything, but I kick ass at whatever job you gave me. Put me in the area you want to focus on developing most. I'll take real good care of the staff there.
Easy, cuz.
Life's funny sometimes, isn't it?
What brought that on?
We first met as enemies on the battlefield, and now here we are fighting side by side.
You mean Columbia?
Yeah, after I quit the JSDF. I made my way there and got myself a position as a drill sergeant for a band of revolutionaries, despite the fact that I'd never seen a day of combat.
I see you had the gift for talking business in Spanish even back then.
Oh, come on, stop it. You're making me blush. Unlucky for me, though, you were in the service of the Colombian Army. I remember it like it was yesterday. It all happened in an instant. You guys ambushed us, and half my unit was taken out. My mind went totally blank. I couldn't keep it together. My whole unit was wiped out, and I was left half dead from a bomb blast.
Then, as I was leaving, you yelled out at me. I came all the way from Japan to be here. My place is on the battlefield. Then you asked for my help, saying, I want to be the one to end it. I remember being surprised that there were still samurai in Japan.
You guys came over to me. I had a grenade hidden under me, but even then you were too fast. The second I pulled the pin, you grabbed the hand I was using to hold the grenade with both palms.
I didn't want it to go off. I'd heard samurai were a proud bunch. I wanted to know why one of them would stoop so low as to try to take his opponent with him.
And I said, I'll never lose again. We'll never lose again.
Yeah. We'll do whatever it takes, but we'll never be beaten again.
Then, I passed out from the blood loss. When I woke up, I was in your camp's infirmary, stuck full of tubes. Why'd you save me? Your enemy after I tried to kill you.
Because you swallowed your pride and fought with everything you had.
I just didn't want to lose.
You found a way to fight back, even in the face of death, even when you knew you were going to die. That's the mark of a true warrior. It's not about gain and loss, or victory and defeat. I looked at the way you lived your life and saw the path I needed to take as a warrior.
Wow, I never knew that. And that's why you...
I realized then that the battlefield doesn't only divide people into allies and enemies. Sometimes it tells you more than just who's an ally or who's an enemy. Sometimes it helps reveal your true comrades.
Like you and me, huh?
That's right. And 2 years later, here we are.
All right, the fundamentals of stealth. There's going to be like 18 of these. These should be pretty straightforward, I would think. But it'll help things out, like camo, maybe psych related aim trimmers, weight carried. I think that would probably affect your psych, I guess, like your stamina basically, like it did in 3.
You probably heard this a million times, Snake, but you should always avoid combat with the enemy when possible.
Right.
We're outnumbered and in unfamiliar territory. We won't survive long in a straight fight, even with you on our side.
I know. Avoiding combat is rule number 1 in a sneaking mission.
That's right. Don't let the enemy know where you are, and attack only when necessary, using hit-and-run tactics to cripple them. It's the essence of guerrilla warfare. Can I ask you a favor, Snake?
If you ask nicely.
To make MSF bigger, we need to do some recruiting.
Yeah. What's your point?
I want you to avoid killing enemy soldiers as much as possible and send them back using Fulton recovery. Not much we can do with a corpse except give it a funeral.
Obviously.
Put him to sleep, knock him out, hold him up even. And if you do have to fight, try to leave them near death instead of dead.
And then use the Fulton recovery system. Sounds easy enough.
You know what'd be really nice, though? If we had a way to Fulton recover anybody at any time.
Hint, hint.
Don't carry any more gear than you need. If you try and stuff your entire arsenal into your backpack, it'll be too heavy and your mobility will be impaired. You'll only be hurting yourself.
I know. Take only what you need. Every rookie knows that.
You can check the weight of your gear before heading out, so make sure you do.
Got it.
Even a born warrior like you gets hand tremors, Snake. It happens even when you're full of stamina, and it only gets worse when you're tired, especially with larger, heavier weapons. Obviously, you'll get better aim crouching than you will standing. And when you use a scope, setting your sights on a single point will gradually give you a more precise aim. As we develop better weapons at Mother Base, though, you may gain access to new, low-tremor versions of the same guns. So if you expect the shakes to be a problem, you might want to put some resources into R&D.
I'll keep it in mind. Then again, the more you use a weapon, the more your hands get used to it. Sometimes it pays to be faithful to your gun.
Oh yeah, like that Mark 22. Best watch out.
Choosing the right uniform is crucial. Pick one that matches the mission objective and your own combat style.
Oh man, that was long. Oh, okay. We're gonna have one for each camo. We only have 2 right now.
Jungle fatigues are made for jungle combat. They provide decent protection and let you carry a fair number of weapons. Your standard uniform, basically. The distinguishing factor is that your camo index will vary a lot, depending on the area. Wear a pattern that makes you blend in with your surroundings, and your camo index goes up. Wear something that clashes, and you'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Pick the right pattern for the occasion. Sigint used to lecture me on it all the time.
Naked. That's exactly what you are with this uniform. The pants are the same as the jungle fatigues. Obviously, since you're exposing your bare skin, your defense and camo index are gonna be low. On the plus side, it's so light you can move around quicker.
Good for showing off muscles, too.
Hey, Snake, I heard they gave you your old code name because you used to run around with your shirt off. Is that true?
Don't believe everything you hear. They called me naked because I went in without gear or food. I had to procure everything on site.
You mean they sent you into the jungle without even a pair of pants? On a halo jump from 35,000 feet? Sweet Jesus, you are a legend.
You're busting my balls, aren't you, Kaz?
Little bit, yeah.
Hilarious.
I'm not really planning to do co-ops. I might listen to these later. I'll skip these for now.
Snake, about cardboard boxes. It feels kind of weird me explaining this stuff to you, but there have been a few recent developments in cardboard box technology.
Word?
So just to be safe, here goes.
Go on.
You can do much more with a box than just hide under it. You can put it someplace and leave it there.
Huh?
You can get on top of it and use it to reach high places, or hide from the enemy in its shadow.
I like what I'm hearing so far.
And that's not all. You can even put items in it and send them to co-op's teammates.
Really? I never thought of any of that. Damn. Is there anything a cardboard box can't do? Every soldier should have one.
Yeah, well, don't get too excited. This isn't exactly what they were made for.
Which reminds me, don't you think the boxes around here are a little on the big side?
You're right. I bet 2 people could fit under one box, if they packed in tight enough. They call them love boxes.
Love boxes?
Of course, you don't need a love box to fit 2 people inside. Any box of similar size will do. Up to 2 people can fit inside a cardboard box.
Tell me how.
Move close to a box with a teammate inside, and an icon will appear. Then press the action button. You'll stay inside as long as the action button is pressed.
So, same as snake formation, huh?
Exactly the same. In fact, when you put on a cardboard box when snake in, both of you can climb inside.
A box big enough to hold me and my buddy. These are fine times we live in, hey, Kaz?
Yeah. Sure, boss.
Okay. Alright, Walkman. That should be the last one unless it opens up anything else.
Snake, about that cassette player Galvez was carrying.
What about it?
That was no Russian imitation.
That's the
It
real
was the real
deal.
deal. A prototype developed by a Japanese company.
Get out of here.
It's true. It had the Sony logo on it. The product name is Walkman.
Walkman.
It's a revolutionary new concept. Music you can listen to on the go. You can take it with you when you leave the house. I gave it a listen, and you wouldn't believe how good the sound quality is for something so tiny. And in stereo, too. Think of the technology that must have gone into it. And that tape is equally amazing. The treble range is clearly superior to any other cassette ever made. Stylish, too.
How'd Galvez get his hands on a model that's not even out yet?
Beats me. It's not the kind of thing I'd expect some stodgy Soviet to be into.
Me neither. Tell you what, though, it's a fine piece of work. It'll let me listen to my music when I want, where I want.
I never thought I'd hear you say that, but I have to agree. Me? I'm a recording freak, and I always used to laugh at the idea of a portable player. But now that I've seen it in action, I've changed my mind. Being able to take your music with you, this could be the start of a revolution in music.
Could be.
I'm having the guys at Mother Base study and analyze it. Who knows? They might be able to come up with something even better.
The idea that this was a PSP game where they were just bragging about like getting wet over the idea of being able to take your music with you. This is a PSP game originally. You're not just taking music, you're taking a whole ass game with music and stuff in it. Like, it's wild. Oh boy, we got a few here. I'm thinking I might do a mission first, and then we'll take care of these after, as just a little break. Because there are a lot. I do want to go through these, though. So yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll do the mission. 3 minutes before the soldier wakes up. You get a time penalty if we trigger an alert. Cool. Mission prep. Oh, we have a love box. We do have the Fulton on us. This is still developing the second one, I guess. I mean, we should be fine. Let's go for it. What? Not available. Oh. Oh. We'll just grab, oh, he's really bad at some things. I mean, Alligator's really good. But it's gonna cost more, GMP. I kinda wanna go with Magpie. He's really bad at two things, but I like the name, Magpie, because it's a Corvid. Alright, I think everything is good. Let's go. Yeah, they all have names like that, Tusk. Listen up, for us there is no victory.
Use Fulton Recovery to bring back knocked out soldiers. To use Fulton Recovery on a soldier, get up next to them so the icon appears, and push the action button.
Get bopped. Give me that.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
Alright, can I do that here? Oh, the timer's still going. Like, I don't know if these...
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
I don't know if these guys are good or not, but take them.
Hurry up and send those knocked out soldiers back here. Don't mess around or they're gonna wake up.
Let's say, though, I hear someone walking.
Too tall to climb. If only you had some equipment.
Like a box.
Looks like that soldier's out cold. Try using Fulton recovery on him. Fulton recovery subject confirmed on...
There we go.
Hey, that was great. Can't wait to see what else you can do.
And there's the Pangea skull logo. It's pretty cool. Some heroism. Hobby magazine layout, rank 1. Okay. We know who you are, Big Boss. That is why we've come to you. Alright, we got the rank 2. Got the analyzer. So he's better now, because he did that mission. We got some new dudes, we got all the new equipment. I'm happy. Let's auto assign the new ones. We have 2 horseshoe crabs. Look at this dude over here looking like young Liquid or something. Snooper rifles. Wait, did I not? There we go. So, what does this need? Oh, we need a lot. Yeah, okay. So... 1.1 kilograms. So, like, I don't see anything actively changing, so it's probably going to be like the aiming, like the hand trimmers that they call them. Alright, we'll do this next mission, and then we'll go through all the pause stuff. My name is Paz, and I will do anything to protect my namesake. Alright, contact the Sandinista Comandante. Delve into the swampy jungles of eastern Limon, and make your way to the Sandinista hideout, where you will make contact with their Commandant.
Is she okay?
No need to worry. She's tougher than you think.
Still just a kid.
Which is exactly why she could be an effective source of information. Besides, that little Angel de la Paz is the one who gave us this mission, right?
Angel of Peace.
I'll put her on.
Snake.
Paz, where are you?
Ciudad Colon. A school. The teacher told me to stay here until things quiet down.
Teacher? Oh, him. He's... Yeah, That's probably good advice.
See, he has a radio in his room, so we can talk anytime.
Pretty fancy for a teacher.
Promise me, Snake, that you'll bring back peace, and
I know. I'll contact you if I find your friend.
thank you. Snake, if you need to know about Costa Rica, the geography, the climate, the wildlife, anything, just ask me. I know about its history and laws too. We learned it all in school.
Got it. I have a question. I'll ask. What?
In school, I also learned that peace is an unnatural state for human society, and that war is a constant threat to our relationships with others.
That's right.
So, to achieve peace, we have to create it ourselves. Crying about it won't bring it about or make it last. Each one of us must go and seek it out.
You won't find it without making sacrifices. No offense, but I don't know what peace is. Never felt what it's like. Never even been interested in it.
Snake?
Oh, sorry. Listen, Paz, I think your ideas are admirable. And I hope they turn out to be right.
Yeah, me too.
Peace is in your name. Who better to help bring it back?
Thanks, Snake. I will be here whenever you need me. See you later.
Snake, use your radio to call people, but stay alert. You're in the middle of a mission and can't afford to let your guard down.
Got it.
Need to know more about Costa Rica? Haas can help you out.
Good to know.
We'll follow their transport route. This should take us straight to their main base.
From what I've seen, it looks like nukes.
Agreed. The key thing now is to confirm whether those spears really are what we think they are, and if so, why they're here.
Follow the transport route. Find the nukes.
That's what I'm thinking. First, we should make contact with the Sandinista Comandante. They can tell us more about what's up ahead. But it looks like their hideout's already come under attack.
We better hope they're still alive.
Snake, infiltrate that cabin and secure the Sandinista's Comandante. Neutralize any guards by knocking them out, putting them to sleep, or even using the Fulton recovery system. You choose how to handle it, boss.
All right, we're gonna do single. Let me hit mission info. Oh no, that's not what I want. Okay, then briefing files about this mission. We've heard this,
Still
right?
Can't believe Professor Galvez was KGB.
Well, like the professor said, Moscow's hell-bent
Yeah,
on...
yeah. So just the one with the exclamation.
Going by this map, you've got a lot of different terrain types between you and the hut where the Sandinista Comandante is being held.
Looks that way, doesn't it? Starting with jungle.
The enemy won't be able to see you very well, but your visibility won't be so hot either. Stay alert. Next, you've got the swamps along the river. Make sure you get a good feel for how robust surveillance is before diving in.
Will do.
Finally, there's the boat repair cabin. The Commandante's in there. It's a key enemy outpost, and security is going to be tight. You may have to let brute force do the talking. You still have a long way to go, Snake. Use caution and don't make a racket out there. Got it?
But you're gonna have like all of this, yeah.
So, are you a student at the University for Peace, Paz?
No, I am still in high school. But Professor Galvez lets me visit his office and study with him every now and then. International law, security, conflict resolution, human rights. We study all these subjects and then use them to build the foundations of peace.
Yeah, I get it. I just never heard the UN had a University for Peace before.
Oh, that. Well, to be precise, it is still being set up. They have started conducting research, but the UN has not passed the necessary resolution yet. Professor Galvez couldn't wait that long.
Oh, right.
Costa Rica abolished its army and has also hosted the Central American Court of Justice. It is the perfect place to build a university like ours. Don't you think?
Paz, you said Costa Rica has no army, right?
Correct. Article 12 of the Constitution declared that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished. It does permit us to organize armed forces for national defense based on inter-American treaties.
Only temporarily, then.
In effect, yes. But in the years since the Constitution took effect, Costa Rica has not once raised an army.
Paz, how does your country defend itself without an army? Especially in a rough neighborhood like Central America.
With the right kind of diplomacy. If we live up to our ideals and earn the respect of other countries, the international community will support us. The 2 times Nicaragua actually did invade, the conflict was resolved diplomatically under OAS auspices.
Doesn't that leave you depending on the U.S. after all?
American influence is unmatched, it is true. San Jose was critical of American policy at the time, but America supported us all the same. It was because we practiced peaceful diplomacy. That is what I like to think.
That's one way to approach it, sure. But there are countries out there who will use force no matter how bad it looks.
Maybe so. I know my way of thinking probably looks naive to you, but it is not like we expect peace without working for it. Diplomacy is a battle in itself, and we have to make the effort to seek out causes of misfortune and nip them in the bud. It was that kind of thinking that got me trapped in their base.
I'm not blaming you. You haven't done anything wrong.
The army was abolished 25 years ago, the year after the Civil War. I learned about the sorrow of civil war from a very young age, the futility of countrymen fighting each other, and the tragedy. Costa Rica learned the hard way. That is why it abolished its army. It decided to pour its efforts into education instead. More teachers than soldiers was the slogan.
Education is essential, no question. Even Che used to teach reading and writing in between guerrilla campaigns.
Costa Rica was poor at the time. We did not have many resources. I suppose we had to pick one or the other. The military or the schools.
Kaz was telling me Japan has a peace constitution too.
That is right. Apparently, when Costa Rica was drafting its constitution, they looked to the Japanese as a model. Only, Japan's constitution renounces war itself.
Unlike Costa Rica.
But, Japan has a self-defense force, right? That I do not get. I think I will ask Mr. Miller about it next time I see him. He said he used to be in the JSDF.
Oh, you're a curious one, are you? Don't study too hard.
Oh, Miller's going to talk to you about that for half an hour. It's interesting stuff, though.
What was that you were saying? Peace is not the natural state of men. You said you learned it in school.
That is right. They are the words of the German philosopher Immanuel Kant. In 1795, he wrote a book titled Perpetual Peace. Kant argued that it is precisely because peace is unnatural that we have to make it ourselves.
How?
That is what his book is about. Is the concept starting to sound interesting now?
Not really. I belong in a more natural world.
Is that so? My grandparents died in the Civil War. If only we had been at peace, they would not have lost their lives. You actually wish for war?
It's not like I want to hurt innocent civilians, but if someone attacks you, what are you supposed to do? A country needs the strength to defend itself. Otherwise it faces invasion, oppression, political subjugation.
If they would simply stop using force to tangle with each other, countries would not need force to defend themselves.
And how would you guarantee that? Sorry, but you have to understand how the world works in order to protect the ones you love. That's not to say ideals aren't important too. They are.
You are right, Snake. Thanks. Peace.
It's been a while since I've read Kant. He can be very dense, but it's good stuff.
Costa Rica's forests are more diverse than you might expect. Not all of them are tropical rainforests. Costa Rica is close to the equator, it is true, but it is also very mountainous.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Go up 4,000 feet in elevation and the temperature drops more than 7 degrees.
There are basically 3 types of forests. The lowlands are covered in tropical rainforests, the highlands by tropical cloud forests, and areas where there's a dry season have tropical dry forests.
What's going on, Nuke? Good to see you.
The lowlands along the Caribbean coast are mostly covered by hot, humid tropical rainforests, what most people envision when they think of jungle. The closely packed trees spread their branches out at great heights to soak up the sun. Their shade makes it dark near the ground, so be careful. Of course, with so little light, few plants can grow on the ground, so it might actually be easier to walk.
So even if you could photosynthesize, it wouldn't do you any good.
Photosynthesize? People cannot do that.
Most people, anyway.
Yeah, most people.
The Development Corporation of Costa Rica, or CODESA, was established 2 years ago. Since President Oduber was elected this year, the state has been putting a lot more effort into development.
The corporate state, so to speak.
Growth is good and all, but there is one thing that bugs me.
What's that?
I cannot help but wonder whether CODESA is not just a front for the CIA.
You mean what the professor was saying about the CIA mercenaries posing as security guards? They were using CODESA as camouflage?
I am worried that development is going to destroy the forests, but I do not suppose it has anything to do with this.
Is that the MMO, Nuke?
This is a tropical rainforest, just like Bosque del Alba. The temperature and humidity can be brutal. El Senegal means place of mud.
No, mud. Great. I'll watch my step.
This area often gets flooded by the river. There are canals here and there carved out by water.
Good places to hide.
But they will also make it harder for you to see. Be careful, Snake. There should be a suspension bridge around there.
In lowlands like this?
The ground nearby is harder and higher than usual. The river cut through it, eventually creating a valley. There might be another way to get across the river somewhere.
I wouldn't want to run into someone on the bridge.
The valley tends to be misty, so you might not be able to see the water from up there. Fall and it will leave more than a bump.
I'll be careful.
When a river floods an area, the banks can collapse, creating a marsh. You see a lot of them around here.
I'll need to watch the noise my feet make in El Senegal.
There is a marsh on the other side of the river too. The suspension bridge will take you there. The river running through here is Rio del Jade, or the Jade River.
Jade? Are there minerals around here?
No, it refers to the color of the water. You will have to go to Guatemala for jade.
Doesn't look all that pretty from where I'm standing.
We are still in the rainy season, so the river is a little muddy. It will return to normal once the dry season starts. Rivers are an important means of transport around here. They are relatively calm, and there are plenty of canals along the coast too.
A boat would be more than enough to transport some good-sized cargo.
Like a nuclear weapon.
We don't know enough yet. I'll keep looking.
Thank you, Snake.
All right, that is that. Let's get kitted out and let's do this. All right, this should be fine, but we got a lot of other options. Cool. That game, Conan Exiles, I think that's the one. I'm like 99% sure that's the one. My friend's wife has put like 8,000 hours into that over the past 3 years. It's like naked versions of everything. I'll just go with, yeah, that's decent.
Survival.
Wait.
Let's rock. Survival.
Okay.
Survival.
I'm gonna put the sensor thing here. The analyzer. How heavy is it? I don't think it matters that much. We'll keep that stuff. Alright, that works for me. Let's get this thing started. What, you'd rather keep wandering from conflict to conflict? Something? Chapter 1, A Country Without an Army. That's quick to... I mean, I guess prologue into Chapter 1, but still felt quick. Because I think when I see something...
FSLN boathouse. It's northwest of there.
When I see something pop up like that, I kind of assume it's going to take a long time to get to the next one.
Use the radio you just picked up by pressing the start button to open the menu window. You know you can assign the radio to the back button by choosing options from the menu window.
Give me some stuff, dude.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
My left bumper is kind of goofy.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Let's just search him real quick. Get the extra goodies. Alright, there's some over here.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Ooh, that's funky. Alright, so we got some over here. Let's check it out. It's like, don't go that way. Demilitarized zone, DMZ. So what's the, yeah, I guess I want to go that way. There's my target, so. Could be optional stuff there. Yeah, let's go that way real quick. Oh, it won't let me.
That area is not part of the mission.
Making sure there's nothing under there. I always thought this was interesting, the way that the maps work on here. It's a little... not confusing, but intimidating at first, because it's like, oh, there's so many different areas that connect. I understand rations. We have some. And it popped that up before when I got one, which is kind of weird.
What's going on?
Got lots of dudes. That dude's out. Just, you're imagining everything, dude. Trust me. I'm a professional. Rip that man. Huh? What was that noise? Huh? Whose footprints are these? Dude, they all have anesthetic rounds. If only it were that easy in like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. 2 is not bad. You got plenty of it to get you through. 3 is rough. Like, I was fine, but 3 is a little rough. You got to be really diligent about searching in 3.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Must be my imagination playing tricks on me. I hear noises. There's something... It sounds like this way. Let's put the sensor thing back on. Dude, left bumper. I'm gonna need to switch controls. Yeah, the bumpers on this controller are a little weird. I might be able to fix them somehow, or I have another controller that I could just swap to. Also, how's it going, Mateus? Been a minute?
The boathouse should be close by. Neutralize the security detail and make contact with the Commandante.
Alright, so I see 2 dudes already. I see 3. Maybe 4. Yeah, at least 4. 5. Nope. Let's just hit him. Aiming in this is a little weird.
I'm seeing things.
Just hit him as well.
I'm seeing things.
Oh, there's another one. Damn it. Okay, let's get the Fulton. Here we are. This is my first time actually seriously playing this.
Commandante. He's inside the boathouse. Fulton recovery subject confirmed on board.
Oh. What's he doing in there?
¿Quién es? Eche! No way. What do we do?
Sandinista's right. I'm looking for someone.
Mi viejo! Shh. He's dead. They killed nuestro viejo.
You're his daughter. Then that makes you his delegado, right? Relax. I'm not your enemy. Cuban.
A cigar? I'll take whatever you've got. I owe you one. But I prefer cigarettes, you know.
Amanda.
How do I look? A little like El Che, no? You Cubano?
Colombiano. A photographer. I came to Costa Rica to take pictures of birds.
Birds?
Yeah, quetzals.
You've got no telephoto lens. How do you get your shots?
Telephotos for amateurs. It's all in the timing.
Oh.
Let me smoke too.
We can talk until I finish this.
Chico.
Tell me what's going on here.
This place is crawling with soldiers. They don't look like private security, more like hired guns. They're loaded with the latest gear from all over the world.
I heard they're a security force hired by Codessa.
Yeah, and I'm Papa Noel. Those guys are UCLA's.
UCLA's. La CIA.
I saw them, setting up shop in town. They're planning to do here what they did in Chile.
If that's the case, what are they after?
Whatever it is, it's not us.
You don't think they're here to push you back into Nicaragua?
Impossible. Too much hardware. Too many bases. Didn't you see? They've got helicopters, tanks. It's like we're in Da Nang. There must be something else.
They have a base near here.
There's a factory to the north, across a suspension bridge.
Factory to the north, across a bridge. Have you seen the big transport boat, mercenary crew on the Rio del Jade?
You mean the barge? It's upstream from here. Up toward Irasu.
Any idea what's on it?
I could introduce you to some of our compas up there, but I don't recommend going to the mountains. We've lost a lot of people there. They take us captive, torture us for information about our compas, and then they kill us like pigs.
Got it! All right!
This was our last hideout, the final refuge for El Frente, after being pushed out of Nicaragua and into this peaceful paradise of Costa Rica. Then, El Monstruo attacked.
A monster.
Y mi viejo. Mi viejo. Papá. He was la esperanza. Our hope.
Now that Papa's gone, my sister's la comandante de la revolución.
Do not listen to him. Papa was a hero who fought by Sandino's side. I am only his daughter. You need a special talent to become cacique. It takes someone great to unite all of Las Compas.
Sorry to interrupt, but leaders don't choose themselves. Neither do heroes. You carry on his legacy of La Esperanza, and they'll follow you, no question.
You think so? My compas trust me, but not one of them calls me comandante.
Amanda!
See what I mean?
El Colibri!
That little interaction there is cool. I was expecting something. I was ready. Get it. Got your ass. Come on. Hell yeah. What?
What the hell?
Es un hombre nuevo, an unmanned weapon, a robot.
No, he won't survive the fall.
Out of my way! Better for him to die at the hand of a compa than suffer their torture. Stay here. As long as I'm still alive, I might as well repay. Over here! Fine, Chico! ¡Venceremos!
Cool. All right, we did get 10 out of 10 on that. Good. You know I love to see that. So we are... I like we could see the rank on the Hush Puppy. Like we could see how much until the next rank. I do like that a lot. Or the next level. The weapon experience. Cool. So we have, ooh, 1911, M1911A1. You know I don't like to go lethal, but it's a good weapon.
What was that thing?
Whatever it was, it looked unmanned.
Unmanned? I'd heard rumors, but an operational unit?
What the hell is going on here?
Not to quote Amanda, but the hardware they've got here isn't just unusual, it's overkill, which means one thing, it's nukes. So the question now becomes why?
We can't make that call yet. We need more intel.
How? Our source is dead.
But his daughter isn't.
Good thinking. We can follow her. Head for the next outpost and make contact with Amanda if she's still alive.
Roger.
Okay, we do get an autosave, which is nice. Did that other research finish? Yep. Oh, actually, maybe not. We get a report and stuff. Crying about it won't bring it about or make it last. Each one of us must go out and seek it. Missiles, we got a law. Disposable rocket launcher. Oh, nice. Dude's leveling up. Magpie leveled up, that's good. That's who I used earlier. Alright, let's sort out the staff. I'm gonna be lazy about it, of course. Alright, M1911 is ready. Nothing in here, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll take a look in here real quick. So we have a couple things. We have some target practices, so those are going to be the side ops, the extras. We have some movies, okay. But these are things I've done, right? So it's interesting that they show up here. They say new, but I have seen them, like, it's from the opening and stuff. Like, it says what they are, and, like, we just saw this. Make contact with the Commandante. So yeah, we have these two extras. We're gonna do those, I guess. But before I do that, yeah, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. Gotta take a leak. I will be right back, and then we'll keep going. All right. Let's see how well these 4-player ones go as solo. Wait, what? Oh, wrong controller. I have two controllers sitting next to each other. One's plugged into the PC, one's plugged into the Xbox. I was like, wait a minute, the button's not working. What's happened? Okay. No limit. Number of targets unlimited, so just how many you can do, I guess.
Commence target practice. As a special treat, you can practice freely on any of the targets in the shooting range today. Shoot away. When you're done, head over to the exit.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sure there's nothing about this mission. What else does Paz have to say, though? Let's go ahead and get through the rest of her stuff real quick, because we've already done a lot of it, or at least a chunk of it now, so let's do some more.
Costa Rica means rich coast in Spanish.
Is it true that Columbus was the one who came up with the name?
Your guess is as good as mine. But it is true that Columbus landed his ships near Limon back in the age of exploration. He wrote in his diary that when he landed, the indigenous showered him with gifts of gold, hence the name. It sounds a little strange to me. There is no way they could find that much gold in Costa Rica.
Columbus originally set sail in search of the legendary land of gold. Maybe he was just nuts about the stuff.
Costa Rica is rich enough without it. Look at the forests and the animals and the peace-loving people. That is what I want to protect.
I know how you feel.
Democracy took root in Costa Rica before anywhere else in Central America. Sure, we had coup and dictators and all, but never a total meltdown. That is, until 26 years ago.
The Civil War. Yeah. I understand you lost your grandparents.
It started with a dispute over alleged fraud in the presidential election. What I do not understand is why friend turned against friend, when they could have talked it out instead.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Even today, some buildings still have bullet holes from the Civil War. A quarter century later, and it is a tragedy we Ticos cannot forget, must not forget. It was the year after the Civil War that the army was constitutionally abolished. A new president was elected this year, President Otaber. He seems to be distancing himself from the United States. He has limited the privileges granted to American banks, lifted the sanctions on Cuba. Our last president was so pro-US, people suspected he was in bed with the CIA.
You think the CIA is doing this because it feels threatened by the president's shift in policy?
It is possible, but would they really bring in such a huge army just because of that?
Part of our job is finding out.
Exactly. Thanks, Snake. Peace.
She just signs off with that occasionally. What's going on, Fox Samurai?
That coffee you guys brought us is pretty damn good.
Isn't it? Costa Rican coffee is the best. The Central Basin has all the right conditions for growing coffee. It is high in elevation, with steady temperatures and well-drained volcanic soils.
The professor certainly seems attached to it.
The coffee we drank on the boat coming over was awful. It put him in such a terrible mood.
Well, how come I never hear about Costa Rican coffee then?
Because it gets bought up by wholesalers and mixed with beans from other countries. It is really a shame. Such wonderful beans, and nobody knows they are from Costa Rica.
They should launch an ad campaign or something.
Right. I hope one day people will recognize Costa Rican coffee for what it is.
I'm with you there.
I do now. Biological diversity.
Costa Rica is said to have about 87,000 species of living things. That is about 5% of all the known species in the world.
A tiny place like this? Huh. I'll be damned.
I want to protect that biological diversity. When diversity is lost, the environment weakens. Just look at the plantations.
I think I know what you mean. It's like trying to assemble a unit from similar guys. It usually doesn't work out. Throw a few square pegs in there and everything falls into place.
There are so many species here that a lot of them have not even been classified yet. I am hoping I can help do that someday. Kind of like a parataxonomist.
Say that again?
Parataxonomist. Someone who helps a taxonomist.
Oh. Huh. I thought you were going to say it had something to do with parachutes.
You're weird.
Damn.
My mother was the one who named me Paz. She said it was an expression of her wish that the country stay at peace. It is a pretty common name in Central America. My mother always used to tell me, never make war. Always help keep the peace.
I remember. Your grandparents.
Yes. They died in the Civil War. I think that is why my mother hated war so much.
That's another thing you've got in common with Kaz. His mother named him Peace, too.
See, because Japan also suffered through war. I think I know how Mr. Miller's mother felt.
You like the peace sign, huh?
See, As a gesture, it connects every peace-loving person. Here, you try it, Snake. Peace.
No thanks. It doesn't suit me.
Too bad for you.
You know, the V in the peace sign comes from the V in victory. When did it start standing for peace?
I am not completely sure, but I guess it came out of the protest movement against the Vietnam War. Oh, and do not turn your hand around when you do it, especially around British people. It is insulting.
Wait, which way is supposed to face outward, though? I don't know.
So, you live alone now?
No, not alone. I've been living in school dormitories since I started junior high. After my mother died, my relatives took me in, but they were not my real family.
You didn't fit in there.
In a way. My aunts were kind to me and all. But I know how difficult it must have been to suddenly have a child thrust into their lives. When you live with someone, there are no secrets. I could tell my being there was a burden on them.
Sounds like a rough childhood.
I would not say that. I was lucky just to have people take me in. There were fanos living out in the streets because their mothers died. It is even worse in countries with frequent civil wars. So, who am I to complain about my childhood?
You're a pretty tough kid, you know?
Not at all. I am not strong at all.
You know, maybe that's where it all soured between Big Boss and Major Zero. Maybe Big Boss was in a good mood, said peace, but turned it the wrong way.
Playa del Alba means Beach of Dawn. The morning sun is so beautiful over the Caribbean.
Beach of Dawn, huh? Perfect place to start a mission.
The clear blue water, the white sand, the swaying palm trees. You cannot get more South American than here. It is paradise on earth.
Yeah, guess I should have packed my Hawaiian shirt.
The coral reefs and mangrove forests protect the small fish in the area. Sea turtles come to lay their eggs on these beaches. We are not the only ones who enjoy this place. It is heaven for more than just humans.
Alright, and last.
Bosque del Alba means Forest of Dawn. Naturally, it is situated on the east coast. It is your standard tropical rainforest. Everything you would imagine in a jungle.
No sign of morning sun here.
The foliage is too thick for direct sunlight to hit the floor. I do not know how easy it will be making your way through here.
I'll be fine. This isn't my first trip to a jungle.
Yeah, so in the chat, you show the inside of the hand. I never knew there was a right way to do the peace sign. I just thought you just put two fingers up. We'll just stick with this. Nice and simple target practice thing. This was not even timed, right?
Welcome to the shooting range. Just the place for a little target practice, huh? When you're done, head over to the exit.
Okay, it just happens. Oh no! Still better than the PlayStation controller for me. But I would definitely like to have a keyboard and mouse. No? Ah, come on. Alright, have we cycled? Is this back to the start? Nope, not quite. Alright, I feel like that's good enough. Let's go back here.
Training exercise complete.
Easy enough. Did give me a lot of experience, so I guess you could probably farm that a little bit to level up your weapon. Your weapon rank. We'll do the other one real quick. Let's go right back to the mission selector.
Target practice commencing now. Shoot all the targets in the shooting range. When the timer reaches 0, the exercise is over.
It's a little weird. I forgot this was a thing.
Get as many targets as you can before time runs out. Commence target practice.
Damn. I really would like keyboard and mouse right now so much. I don't know how I used to just play games on console. Like how I just used to play shooters and stuff on console. Oh my god. Don't tell me I lost all my suppressors. And I'm out of that. Okay. Oh, come on. No. Rip. I don't know if I actually accidentally shot one of the hostages or not. Oh, that almost was, because I can't use the damn analog stick. Alright. It was okay. Could have been better, could have been worse. I don't want to do that again anytime soon, though. Let's do the next actual mission. I got a little bit of time left here. So let's look at the next main ops. To pursue Amanda. I feel like the one time I did start playing this game, I feel like I did get at least this far. But I don't really know how far I got. It's been so long. I don't remember playing the game at all. I remember, you know, most of the larger story beats. Like I said, I know I've watched the game before, but it's been so long. I just don't remember almost anything.
The direction Amanda's Sandinistas were going corresponds to the location of the next outpost, a supply depot. We should be able to make contact with her there.
Alright, what do we have about this mission?
To get to your next objective, you'll need to backtrack along the way you came for a bit. Don't get too comfortable just because you know the terrain. The enemy knows you're out there now. They'll be out in greater force than before. Proceed with caution. Refrain from using firearms unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I better have a suppressor.
Looks like I'll have to cross the river.
Yeah. There's a suspension bridge you can use. It's the only way across. You'll have to be a little creative to keep from being spotted.
So, I cross the bridge, go through the swamp, and come to a banana plantation.
Complete with its own factory by the looks of it. It's going to feel a lot different moving through that area compared to the forest. Stay on your toes.
Got it.
Also, you may encounter Sandinista prisoners along the way. Try and save as many as you can with Fulton Recovery.
I'll keep an eye out.
There's a lot of banana cultivation along Costa Rica's Caribbean coast. The area is dotted with banana plantations. Bananas have been Costa Rica's main crop since they were introduced from Panama in the 19th century. They bring in a fair amount of foreign currency.
A real fruta de oro, huh?
See, but exporting all those bananas require a ton of land.
Hence all the plantations.
Clearing all that forest just to grow bananas robs animals of their habitats. I do not know how good that is for Costa Rica in the end.
Okay, let's do it. Mission prep. What do we... We do have that law now. Yeah, I don't really want to change anything, though. Just go for it. That's too many dudes. I don't like it.
Careful. They've got reinforcements coming.
Oops. There.
I'm seeing things.
No. Alright, I think we're probably okay. The problem is we have limited Fulton.
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
And we can rescue other people, so I don't really want to take every single one of these dudes.
Fulton Recovery helicopter is complete.
I should bust out the analyzer. Oh my god, that is a really slow scan. E. Where'd the other guy go? Thought there were two over this way. Oh, there he is. You're also an E. I'm gonna leave all of y'all.
Enemies close by.
Oh, come on.
They spotted you. Get out of there.
It's terrible.
Next.
You've lost them, but they're still on the hunt. Stay sharp.
Freeze.
You won't have to worry about that one anymore. So long as none of his buddies show up anyway. Go ahead and use Fulton Recovery to bring the target in.
That's terrible. What a terrible alert. They get up kind of fast, but also because I was slapping them to get equipment, that just makes it even worse. I didn't know it was still going to happen that quickly. Okay, so we could go back that way, or we could look for the other route, which is probably better. This is where we came from before. Yeah, so the thing that is weird to me about this game is how it's no longer like a continuous experience. It's a bunch of smaller, you know, missions. Does he have to be knocked out? Just the tree was blocking it. There's still like a full story and everything, but it's divided into these like bite-sized missions because it is for a PSP. It makes a lot of sense to have a game for a portable console to where you're not doing like hours-long segments of a game, but you get to say, oh, this only takes like 5 or 10 minutes. It's a lot easier to play on the go. If the Fultons weren't limited, I would just take everybody.
Amanda went across that rope bridge. Hurry.
I think I just saw a guy. Yeah, I wouldn't even be scanning the dude. I'd just be like, hey, you're coming with me. I knew I saw a dude. I might take him anyway. Just an E, though. I should have taken the D earlier. You know I like to take the D.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Or
You can't hang down when you're crouching.
or we just knock him out. I'm playing on Xbox. I have a lot of trouble with the PlayStation stuff. So I don't know.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
I'm on the Series X. Also, I like the controller more anyway. Ever since the original Xbox came out, I was like 100% on board with this controller over the PlayStation. If I'm gonna use a controller. Oh my god, this bumper is dead though. Design specs. So that does remind me that that is something I want to be looking out for. Let's tap him on the wiener. Oh, never mind. Screen transition? Yup.
Careful now. They might be holding FSLN soldiers prisoner.
I see three guys, I think.
Guess not.
Just in that view alone.
Guess not.
Oh, maybe an extra one. Yeah, I see two that way and one behind that gate. That's tough, but I'll go for it. Got it.
Guess not.
There he is.
Guess not.
I like how they say that. Alright, you guys are cool. Another love box.
To send a prisoner to Mother Base, equip the Fulton recovery system. Select equipment by pressing
Yeah,
the
but
X
they're inside a building.
while holding LB.
How's that work? Okay, it just does. It just works. I was thinking I was gonna have to drag them. Yeah, love boxes are my favorite kind of boxes. Oh. Crap. If I need to go through there, that's bad. There's a rank D. Yep, okay, doesn't matter. Oh, oops, didn't mean to go in the box, but worked out. Those dudes might start waking up. I was not tapping them because I felt like the screen might take longer to get through. Another rank D. Alright, we got a prisoner. Prisoner comes first.
Button in front of a prisoner to take them to Mother Base using the Fulton recovery system. Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Okay, so I don't have to blow that gate up, which is good. What's the analyzer say? E. Double barrel shotgun indeed, and I'm not going to use it. It's too lethal. Another prisoner? No. Tiger stripe uniform. Alright, we're at the objective. What's up with... That's a beefy helmet. Alright, if I can get a good angle, I'll trank that APC there. Put the APC to sleep.
Looks like there's no way around him. You up for this, Snake?
Lav type G. Don't set me into an alert. Okay, next mission. Ooh, that's goofy. To be continued. I understand why they did it. Because, like, oh, you went in with a loadout that's not equipped to deal with an APC like that. So, we'll make it fair on you that you can change your loadout. Alright, I think it's time to go back and address the staff and stuff.
Listen, boss. We both know you're the reason MSF's grown so much. But it's time we started putting more thought into provisions.
Good point. A place this big needs a good stockpile on hand.
The Japanese say you can't fight on an empty stomach. Something we learned in World War II.
Obviously. Maintaining a steady supply of provisions is one of the basic principles of logistics.
So I went ahead and set up a mess hall team. The team members' numbers and abilities will affect the amount of grub to go around. Without enough food, morale will drop. They get hungry enough, and we could start losing people. Anyway, I need you to assign guys to the mess hall team.
Copy that.
So that's the fork icon I was seeing. I didn't know what it meant yet, but I was seeing that with the analyzer. Yeah, that right there. I think it's a fork. I mean, it makes sense, but that's what I was seeing it as earlier, so I think I was right. Magpie is really leveling up. Nice. Alright, so on the staff menu, you need to supply sufficient provisions according to the size of your mother base staff. Your current food supply is represented by food in the upper right. When food's greater than 100%, soldier morale will rise, enabling soldiers to perform beyond their natural abilities. On the other hand, if it's below 100%, morale will fall. If it falls too low, soldiers will defect and ultimately leave Mother Base. Assigning adequate staff to the mess hall team will ensure that everyone receives ample provisions. This concludes the tutorial. So what if I auto-assign? Oh yeah, we're good. Fulton rank 2, okay. I hope it's a capacity increase. Wait, what is that? Calorie mate? Tea that no. Oh, mate. When you see it there, I mean, it does look like a drink, but still, I was like, I don't know. See, I never knew calorie mates were a real thing until, like, just a few years ago. All right. So what optionals do we have? A marksmanship challenge. I'll save that.
That's an armored vehicle unit, Snake. Either destroy the vehicle or neutralize the soldiers. Take it out.
Oh, you said the magic word. You said neutralize.
Enemy tanks, armored vehicles, and attack choppers are always accompanied by a combat squad. The soldiers aren't particularly tough on their own. What makes them formidable is how well they work together as a team. As if you didn't have enough to worry about with the machine.
Good. I like a challenge.
Yeah, we'll see how you feel when you actually have to face them in battle. Snake, whatever you do, don't let them surround you. The last thing you need is to get pushed into the vehicle's kill zone. And pay attention to what your enemies say to each other. You can improve your chances by figuring out what they're planning and using it to preempt their movements. You don't always have to go toe-to-toe to win a fight. Think like a guerrilla.
Got it.
I don't want any spoilers. I'm thinking out loud. I just feel like I have to say that in this case. But, I wonder if I can tranquilize them. We'll find out.
Panama disease was rampant here about 20 years ago, putting a lot of banana plantations out of business.
Panama disease?
It is caused by a type of fungus. Apparently it killed off almost all the banana species that used to grow here.
How could that happen?
Cultivated bananas do not produce seeds. You have to remove and transplant part of the stem yourself. You plant them in the fields.
So you've got acres of identical plants?
See, when one plant is infected, the disease spreads quickly. Species lacking genetic diversity become weak. They grow different bananas today, one said to be resistant to Panama disease.
Alrighty. Just in case, I will get the law. Oh, it's throwing... Okay, yeah. But I'm gonna try not to use it. It's gonna make me heavier too, of course. Whoops, wrong thing. No, you don't have that. I took it away. Okay, let's see.
Neutralize the enemy troops. The accompanying soldiers are armed to the teeth.
Yeah, see, it doesn't. I don't think that. Like, I feel like that did hit, but it didn't penetrate the armor. Oh no, it does. Okay, I just missed. Never mind, I'm just bad.
The enemy's attacking! Going to alert status!
Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base.
No, I don't what? No!
What is it?
Come on.
What is it?
That was rough, but it'd be like that.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Train Domino was fun. It was like, just everyone get knocked out. Stop getting up. Stop waking each other up. Ration. So I eliminated that crew. Now all that's left is the vehicle, so I guess... He said neutralize the crew or eliminate the vehicle. Well, nothing's happening, so I guess I'm gonna need to bust out that... Oh, there we go. Is it infinite or is it just two groups? Ah, no spoilers though. Anytime I ask a question, I'm just thinking. I don't like answers to questions unless I explicitly declare it. So I hit them all like around the same time in similar areas, so I would think they would all pass out at about the same time. It did work. I'm gonna take all these dudes until I run out.
Fulton recovered. That's gotta be the leader. Can you take him down?
Captain.
Leader's out cold. Bring him in.
Okay. What a nerd. I mean, no. I think I have played that before. I really don't remember how far I got in this game. And I'm mixing up some of it with Portable Ops, and I didn't play a lot of that either. That's a completely normal thing to see. Just an average Saturday in Costa Rica. Oh, wrong. Wait. I didn't even think about it. Oops. I'm an idiot.
I will take my own life before I sell out my copas under torture.
It's fine. That seems painful. I just like, I don't know how long I have on that, so I'm like, shoot the closest thing.
What? What is it?
Can you roll me one? Tobacco.
Oh, yeah.
Chico.
Hold still.
I treated him like a kid again. We fought. I didn't want Chico to know. Kept it a secret. Somoza's Guardia chased us out of Nicaragua. Across the Rio San Juan. And we ended up here. The only reason we've been able to keep on fighting.
Amanda.
The factory. You saw it?
The banana factory.
A front. It's a drug refining plant. The KGB set it up for us to run. We used the income to buy food and weapons. Mi viejo never said a word, but we all knew. Everyone except Chico. Everything we have, our weapons, our compass. He brought it all together. We were going to rebuild our country. Rebuild Nika with our own hands. Even if we had to dirty our hands to do it. But it's all over. We lost our cacique. Papa. I could never replace him. Now they've taken the plant from us too. There's no place left to regroup. No way to fight la revolución.
Here, I rolled you one.
What about you? You're going after that cargo?
Yeah.
Must be important,
Looks that way. It looks like it could be nukes.
What? Nukes? Madre de Dios. No time to waste. We must get to Irasu. The transport route leads there. It must be where they're holding Chico and my compas, too. Whenever Chico and I argue, he goes off to be by himself. That's why he knows more than anybody about their bases. Oh, Chico.
You're pretty worried about your baby brother.
This is why I'm not fit to be a leader.
Fine. It's a little bit out of my way, but just tell me where I need to go.
There's a prison up in the mountains. That's probably where he is.
A prison in the mountains.
You must do something for me. If you can't save Chico, I want you to ease his pain, end his humiliation. If he gives in, if he's about to sell out his compas, please, at least let him keep his honor.
That's a promise I can't make.
Why?
Amanda, we gave up our homes, but we're still alive. We're still fighting. And there's always another reason to keep on living.
I feel alive again.
Amanda, join my unit until you've healed up.
Your unit?
Yeah.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Snake. Serviente.
Snake? Could it be the great cacique has come to lead us?
Kaz, can you hear me?
MSF here.
One for recovery. She's wounded.
Acknowledged.
Kaz, the cargo on the barge. I was right. It's headed for the mountains.
You think that's where they're taking the nukes?
I'm sure of it. Let's move.
All right, let's see if that counted as a penalty. Probably did. Mech catcher. Yeah, 7 of 10. That's weird. Because I did something, I guess I just didn't do the right thing. Because I did not do 7 different interactions. I definitely did not see 10 interactions even pop up. So I guess it's like how good you did, kind of. Let's see. No kills. Still hanging in there. And like 2 to 3 more missions. Get another rank on the Hush Puppy. Oh, captured Lav Type G, life remaining 100%. Tortilla chips, hell yeah. Canned soft drink. Banana fruta de oro.
Snake, Amanda's reached the plant.
Snake,
Amanda, how do you feel?
some first helicopter ride. I'll be perfectly happy if it's my last.
As you can see, she's doing fine. I set Amanda up with her own frequency, so call her anytime you need to.
If you have any questions about American bases or mercenary units, or about El Frente, just ask. And please, do not forget my compas and Chico.
Don't worry.
It's good to be working with you, boss.
Snake, we can monitor her condition in sickbay. Remember to assign roles to any POWs you bring back to Mother Base. How this outfit gets built depends on who we assign to what jobs. That'll determine how Mother Base grows. It's one of your most important roles, boss.
Yeah, I know.
Saving. Alright, yeah, let's head to Mother Base.
Boss,
Or
one more
not.
thing.
Now what?
It's about sickbay. Naturally, we can use it for the sick or injured like we did with Amanda. But we can't expect people to get better without the proper treatment.
Uh-huh.
So I figure we'll need a medical team for that. The number of team members and their abilities will determine how quickly the sick and injured heal. They can also monitor everybody's health.
Right. Prevention is the best medicine.
You got it. Remember to wash your hands often and gargle twice a day, boss.
If only I had the time.
Okay then. We're few in number, but we will win. Victoria o muerte. Victory or death. I didn't get to read all of it. Mechs are now available for viewing. That's the vehicle. Medical team. Sick bay. PTSD was listed. Barracuda. A new plant has been built thanks... Oh yeah, we have another platform out there. Soldier was in wounds status upon arrival and is being transferred to sickbay. This guy has intense hostility, so he's in the brig now. Same with you. And you. And you. Alright, sick or injured soldiers will automatically be transported to sickbay. Soldiers in either state will perform below their natural abilities. The higher the level of your medical team, the lower the chances of sicknesses breaking out. Don't want to catch the COVID, right? Furthermore, the speed at which soldiers sent to the sickbay recover will increase. Finally, a high-level medical team will enable you to develop high-rank tranquilizer guns as well. That's all you had to tell me. The Mosin Nagant there. And this concludes the tutorial. We'll see how well this assigns things. We don't really have anyone in there. Is there anyone that's like really good at medical stuff? Like Barracuda's good. You're really good. Lungfish, you're a medical dude now. And I guess you... You're a level 2. But to just capture more dudes as well. Alright, that's still going. I thought I did Fulton. Oh crap. I think I hit the wrong button before. Because it starts on no. Son of a dick. It doesn't tilt further than that. That's cool. That hurts my eyes. Alrighty, let us save. Personal mech. I like how they call it mech, but it's like normal vehicles. It's a misleading name. There's like armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters. Yeah, like after stream, I'm gonna get in my mech and go get some food. Couple marksman ships, we'll do those at some point. Rescue Chico from the Aldea Los Despiertos prison facility and locate the route used by the U.S. mercenaries to transport the nuclear material.
Snake, the nukes appear to have left the coastal marshes and reached the mountains around Irazu. But without a guide, it's going to be tough tracking those things in the mountains. So we need you to infiltrate one of their bases, a prison facility.
I hope nothing's happened to Amanda's brother.
I hear ya. There may be other Sandinistas held there too. To bring them back safely to MSF, use the Fulton recovery system. As I'm sure you know from experience, it's completely harmless. After all, you won't have time to sit there and convince every single one of them to join.
One other thing, Snake.
Amanda.
Those CIA bastards confiscated some of the houses in the village. Chico's got to be inside one of them.
Houses, huh? How do I tell which ones?
When they took over the houses, they installed new front doors for security purposes. The new doors are blue, with peepholes, so you can see what's inside.
Blue doors. Got it.
You're getting close to the end of the transport route. Good luck, Snake.
Alright, let's check out the briefing files.
Areas with a distinct dry season, like the Pacific coast, have tropical dry forests. During the dry season, the trees drop their leaves. It gives you a clearer view, but at the same time, there are fewer places to hide. So be careful.
Sounds dull.
It is not really. A lot of trees flower during the dry season, including my favorite, the tabebuya. It has these amazingly vivid yellow flowers.
Nice, Fox. I need to catch up on that myself.
Costa Rica has several active volcanoes, Irazu being one of them.
That's where Camino de Lava comes from, huh?
The tropical dry forests around here are quite different from our rainforests. They lose their leaves in the dry season. Tropical forests are not all thick jungles. A few of them even have cacti. Some of Costa Rica's greatest assets are its diverse forests and natural landscapes. Costa Rica got its first real railroads up and running about 100 years ago. Their primary purpose was to move coffee harvested in the Central Basin to the Caribbean coast.
They built railroads here 100 years ago? That's impressive.
It was even more difficult than you would imagine. Later, they started using the railroads for shipping bananas too. There still might be some branch lines around here. Aldea de los Despiertos means Village of the Awake.
Weird name.
The area is littered with coffee fields, and there is a factory nearby. The villagers are fans of coffee, so...
Nah, they don't get much sleep, huh? They've got a sense of humor, all right.
I cannot believe they would take over a place like this and use it as a prison. It is unforgivable for both the CIA and the thugs they employ. All the villagers wanted was to live in peace. What gives the CIA the right to crush them like that?
They don't care about anyone's rights but their own. It's just the way some people are.
You really think so?
Don't worry. It just gives me the right to teach them a lesson.
Alright, and Amanda's... Oh, only got one thing for now. Okay.
Amanda, how do I get to the prison camp?
First, head up the narrow mountain path. The path will gradually open up and you'll come to a fork in the road. Watch yourself up there. You'll be lower than the surrounding terrain, so if you head down the middle, you'll make for an easy target.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up.
Take the leftward path to reach the prison camp.
What can you tell me about the prison camp?
Well, it used to be a village until they took control of it. It's a maze of paths, so watch out for soldiers on patrol.
I'll be sure not to stop and say hi.
Use the paths carefully, and you should be able to stay out of view.
Where are they holding Chico?
One of the houses, most likely. You can peek through the doors. Just press the action button when the icon appears. You could also listen to any sounds inside for clues.
Good idea.
Guards will still be on the move while you're looking inside. Make sure you don't get caught. And Snake.
I know. I'll bring him back.
Thank you. I know I can count on you.
Or if all the guards are just knocked out and or Fultoned, it won't matter. So let's see. I think that's still fine. Actually, this is better. Yeah, Tiger Stripe is just better. Because Jungle is still an A, but it adds a couple extra A's.
Survival.
And we're definitely going to get rid of that law. Alright, I think I'm probably happy with this. We don't have the other Fulton yet. Alright, let's go. We'll probably do this one and then wrap up. Could it be the great Cacique has come to lead us? We just heard that. In the last movie. Can I get up here? I don't trust that on the left, like a dude's gonna come walking through there. Oh, there is a dude there. That's a 5.56. Come on, pick that up. Yeah, but before we keep it there at the base, let me scan this man. I don't want to go too crazy on looting people because we got prisoners. He is a rank C medic dude. I'm going to take him. Because we need a good medic team. And he's rank C.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Alright, so we have at least one dude down here. Gotcha, bitch. Alright, what's your story, man? Give me that 12 gauge. Please be good. You like an S rank. Just be awesome. Yeah, C rank, I'll take you. I should have given him another tap. I'm gonna reorganize these things so I can more easily get what I want.
Recovery helicopter is complete. The basin ahead leaves you completely exposed to sniper fire. I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, auto aim. Can't we? Yeah, we could do.
Boss, please. You have to help Chico.
Alright, so we just want to go through this basin. We're actually not that far, okay. In terms of screen transitions. I see a dude up there.
Can't be imagining things.
Get dunked on. Wait for that guy over there to get put out. Yo, it takes so long to activate when you don't get a good, proper hit. Just take whatever and get on this guy.
Can't be imagining things.
It's okay. Still gotta be careful on using too many.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
There's those rails we heard about. Alright, how good is this guy? Who was making that noise? Is it the guy that I knocked out up there? No. I'm just gonna get out of here.
Chico's in one of these houses. You've got to find him, Snake.
Good night. Just hit him.
Check inside a house by pressing the action button in front of the door.
I know I saw something.
No one here.
There's another one. Ha! The double takedown. You love to see it. Alright, how's this guy looking? I will take him. Alright, I can't move around like that. It's too risky. It is good timing. I totally planned it. Can you tell? I knew exactly what I was doing. I like how the three little... Someone taking a leak? You hear that?
Mama!
Ah!
Supposedly, the houses being used to hold prisoners have been fitted with blue doors.
Very convenient. I saw that guy, but check this door.
Chico, is that you?
Who's there?
Chico, it's me.
Joy. Joy, that photographer.
That's right. A war photographer.
Huh? I thought you were here for the birds.
Yeah, the birds of the battlefield.
Whoa. Is that chess? Can I see it? Wow, the same kind of chair used.
You can't keep it, kid. Here, have these instead.
Those photos. Huh. Oh no, Amanda!
She's safe. Don't worry.
You sure?
We're patching her up back in my place.
She's hurt?
I said, don't worry. It's just a broken leg.
You got any cigarettes? Hey, cigar, huh? Hey!
It's not for kids. Chico, do you know where they took the cargo?
Cargo? What cargo?
Let me rephrase that. How do they get stuff from the coast up here?
Oh, that I can tell you. When the cargo gets to the harbor, they first send it up the marshes on a barge. Then, they load it onto a jungle train past the banana plantation and transport it by rail. The train stops here. When it gets to the train terminal past the coffee plantation, they reload it again, this time onto a truck, which disappears into a tunnel heading toward the mountains.
Disappears? Chico, what's on the other side of that tunnel?
Nobody knows. None of our compas ever got close enough. He's protected by a spirit.
A spirit?
Yeah, a giant monster. El Basilisco.
The king of snakes.
No, really, I saw it. I was camping up there one day, and just as I was waking up around dawn, I heard this loud noise. I opened my eyes and saw an enormous shadow. Must have been 30 bara at least. He was walking on legs as big as trees.
Where did you see it?
At the terminal near the tunnel, but I only saw it that one time.
What exactly were you doing there?
Well, me and my sister got into a fight.
And you just happened to go camping.
You know, their train should be arriving at the place I saw El Basilisco right about now.
Is it far?
No, really. Go past the coffee plantation, and it'll be to the north. What are you chasing?
Something that could keep the world in balance. Or destroy it.
Huh?
I heard that place was a narcotics plant before those guys took it over. But you already knew that, didn't you? Look, I get it. Even revolutionaries need to pay the bills. Still, must be tough for a kid like you to swallow.
You're damn right it is. The route they use to transport stuff is the same one mi viejo used to smuggle drugs. They sold the drugs to the Norte Americanos and used the profits to fund the army. They tried to keep it hidden from me.
Is that why you went camping?
Yes. I managed to sneak into the plant a few times and I tried to set it on fire. Everyone treats me like a child. I couldn't stand it anymore. I'm not a kid, I'm 12.
Couldn't do it though, could you? Chico, growing up means choosing how you're gonna live your life. To do the right thing, you sometimes have to leave the things you care about behind. Parents, family, your homeland.
But mi viejo. Papa.
Chico, look at the photos.
Mi viejo.
He's gone, but there's one thing you don't ever leave behind. Your memories. Keep them safe.
That subtitle did not match.
Chico.
I do, but...
Come back with me. Your sister's waiting for you.
I can't go back. I can't face everybody.
You told them where your compas are. I see. Nothing to be ashamed of. Pain gets the better of us all.
I wish I was dead.
Okay then. I'll put you out of your misery.
What?
Any last words? Shoot. You are only going to kill a man. I just wasted a bullet. Don't waste your life. Listen to me, Chico. You died here today. You understand? You're hombre nuevo, a new man. Now, give that new life to me.
Huh?
Fight with me, little soldier. Show me how strong you really are. Dry your tears, then promise me one thing. No smoking until you get older. Remember, real heroes are never as polished as the legends that surround them.
You got it, boss.
Snake is fine.
What's that?
Boss, you killed a child. Amazing. Mission complete. I love it. Mateus in the chat there. So I do remember that scene quite a bit. I think I might have actually played through that in the past as well, but I don't remember the gameplay around it. I remember the scene though, so I might just be remembering when I watched a playthrough of the game. Pretty good. Pretty good stats, I guess. C4.
Snake, Chico made it over.
Snake!
Chico, you made it.
Made it. Don't give me that. You say you're gonna give me a new life, and then you nearly kill me.
I take it you didn't enjoy the trip.
What's the big idea? Dragging me off in a balloon. I might as well have taken a Colibri.
At least you got a nice view. Or are you afraid of heights?
Whatever. I just wish you would explain it to me first.
Would you have agreed to go if I did?
Thank you for saving us, Snake.
Amanda, a word of advice.
What?
Stop treating him like a child.
Yes. Yes, I know. You're right. I shouldn't.
Amanda, you're coming back after your leg heals, right?
Of course. We still have work to do.
We, huh? Are you sure you've got Chico's future in mind when you say that?
What do you mean? We're sworn to our father's cause, to helping the revolution succeed.
Revolution or no revolution, you pick up a gun and sooner or later you're going to hell. Are you prepared for that?
I am. If the alternative is giving up the country I love, I'll take hell.
Really? Well then, you're gonna have to stop treating Chico like a brother and start treating him like a soldier.
You're right.
Welcome to hell.
Snake, can I ask you a favor?
Shoot.
You find any prisoners from El Frente, you bring them back alive. Cause...
You're trying to make amends for talking.
Oh, not just that. Because they're compas.
All right. But first, I've got to catch up to that cargo.
I'll do whatever I can to help. Call me if there's anything you need to know about the area.
And what?
Let me know if you encounter any wildlife you've never seen before.
Never seen before? What, like that basilisco you were talking about?
I'm talking about UMAs.
UMAs?
You know, like ancient dinosaurs or legendary monsters. One day, I'm going to be a hunter.
Is that right? Okay, sure.
If you want to know more, I'm happy to tell you.
Right. I'll be in touch, Chico.
Okay, Snake. The enemy's cargo is headed for the next outpost, a rail terminal.
Chico says no one's ever set foot past there.
Their main base is probably on the other side of that tunnel. Unless we catch those spears before reaching it, they'll be in enemy hands. You've got to stop them. Hurry, Snake.
It sounds like something I can just do later. Doesn't sound that critical.
Boss, I had an idea. Listen to this.
Let me guess. You want to start running ads in the local gossip rags?
Please, what do you take me for? I thought that with all the new guys we've got, we should get an intel team going. We'd send agents around the country to scout out different locations. That way we're better prepared, no matter where we end up.
That's actually not a bad idea.
They could probably develop recon equipment for us too. We could also have them transport goods and direct the Mother Base support strikes. You can send an item to a co-op teammate from the delivery menu.
All right, let's head to Mother Base. Delivery. Support supply. So I like that supply request. That's gonna be a game changer. Intel team. No AMD support. I see how it is. There we go. Modified so that more can be carried. A maximum of 100 people can be recovered per mission. I like that. Oh. This is interesting. Okay. Let's just auto-assign people for now. They do support strikes and stuff. To get support, use a support supply marker or strike marker. The higher the level of your intel team, the more supplies you can transport and the more powerful the strikes you can deliver. In addition, when deploying on a mission, you can also receive information about the enemies and prisoners that appear in the mission. And that's that. So, waiting room, auto assign. Let's go. Alright, how's it looking? Level 12, 16, 3. It's still doing the job, so it's fine. 6, or no, 4. I was looking at 6 members. Level 4 on medical. Level 5 on intel. And we're still waiting on her to feel better. It looks like she'll be intel as well once she's recovered. And then no one's in the brig anymore. They stopped causing ish. Oh. I was curious what exactly that was going to be. Sure. You could send certain weapons and recovery items to co-ops and versus players via cardboard box. After boxes are created, they're registered in the outbox and sent at the end of a co-ops or VS session. Selecting free as the recipient will send the box to an undisclosed recipient via your connections with other players in co-ops or VS missions. When you receive a box from someone you don't know, you can return the favor by finding the box's original sender under the Friends tab. Sharing weapons and items with comrades is a smart way to tackle tougher missions. This concludes the tutorial. Okay. Lots of info there. Let's go to R&D. Is there anything else I can really do? We can do the C4, yeah. Alright, I think that is good enough for me right now. It's about 4 hours here. So I think I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna go get some tacos, as I usually do on Saturdays. I'm ready. So thank you to anybody who showed up, whether you are lurking or chatting. I do appreciate it. If you're new and you like Metal Gear Solid, this is my first time really playing this game, although I played some in the past. I don't remember how far I got. I don't really remember much about playing the game. I do remember the main story beats, as I already said, especially from having played like Metal Gear Solid 5 and stuff. The cross references, like there's plenty that, like, okay, yeah, you kind of get a lot of main story beats, and I have watched a playthrough in the past, but Actually playing through it, I think, is going to be interesting. Yeah, get them taco rations indeed. It's going to be good. It's going to be very good. So yeah, it's good. If you like Metal Gear Solid and you're new here and you're watching, do hit that follow button. I am running through, which doesn't make as much sense to say anymore, but I am running through the entire Metal Gear Solid mainline series. So it's going to be this and then Metal Gear Solid 5 remaining. So still a lot to go. Probably as much as it's taken me to get through all the other games, honestly, if not more. Because these last two are going to take a bit. I can already tell you that. These streams do go up on YouTube as well, Shoggoth Unknown. 2 weeks after they're live here, unless I really mess up or something. I need to double check that a couple things are set up right. But they do go up on YouTube as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, congrats on being in the future. I would appreciate if you do all that fun YouTube stuff, like subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. I do read and respond to my comments. As for the stream stuff here, I'm still kind of going through dealing with some stuff. So not a lot of streams are happening. Usually I would be going every day, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. Kind of stepped back a little bit right now, and mainly all I'm going to be doing, guaranteed, is going to be these Saturday, Sunday Metal Gear Solid sessions. So I'll be back tomorrow with more of this, and then it'll probably be all the way until next Saturday, and then we'll pick it back up, and I won't really have any other streams in the meantime. But I am really, that boat is going real close. It went real close to that like support pillar or whatever. But yeah, I'm really glad to be playing this. It'll be interesting to experience it for myself for the first time, like the whole game, not just the first few hours. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with more of this. Until next time, have a good day, have a good night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. Take it easy.
A dud!